For a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
This week, we get football a day early on the Buncombe County Game of the Week. With Hurricane Ian blowing in, Asheville and Reynolds have moved to Thursday night in Fairview. We'll get you warmed up with Sports Tank Friday at 6 and the Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show at 6:30.
And it's Thursday Night Lights as well over on AM 1400 and TuscolaRadio.com, where Tuscola will look to stay perfect in a big-time Mountain 7 meeting with North Henderson. The Mountaineer pregame show at 7, followed by kickoff at 7:30.
Western North Carolina's best high school football coverage is on 570 WWNC and ESPN Asheville.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Florida, because of the threat of Hurricane Ian, the Buccaneers held their first practice at the Dolphins training complex today. As of now, the Bucs are still scheduled to host the Chiefs on Sunday night. If the game has to be moved, it will be relocated to Minneapolis. The Bills added some much-needed depth at cornerback, signing veteran Xavier Rhodes to the team's practice squad. Buffalo's secondary pretty banged up, presenting a huge challenge for a team with Super Bowl aspirations, notes Canty and Carlin co-host Chris Canty.
The Buffalo Bills' championship hopes have taken a bit of a hit because of some of these injuries. I mean, the secondary was one of the areas of the team that you thought was a strength. Yep. And now it feels like it's a bit of a weakness, Carlin, especially with those two young safeties, DeMar Hamlin and Jaquan Johnson. They weren't up for the task on this past week against the Miami Dolphins.
Chris Canty on Greene. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson out the first 3 games of the season with a knee injury, has been medically cleared and will start Sunday against the Steelers. Baseball, Astros slugger Yordan Alvarez is day-to-day with a left ankle issue.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We are the Sportsocracy, and we are heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. It's very easy to get in on the conversation in the program each and every day. It's easier than using phone numbers. All you got to do is just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That gets you into the chat. And each and every day, the best comments will be highlighted. We'll go back and forth with you in the chat. Like already, B. Malik, he's all excited. Zach Wilson's back, baby.
It can physically not be any worse than Joe Flacco.
Right. But Joe Flacco's top 5 in passing yards.
He's 6. And the one thing that encourages me is that you should see more Breece Hall. You should see more Michael Carter. The scary thing is they're 1 injury away from calling me to play right tackle. So 3 tackles on IR. That's
hard to do.
That's good. That's good. Good time. Good time for us.
Oh, it's the New York Jets. Jets going jet, right? But Zach Wilson comes back, the MILF hunter himself, and Jeremy will be very thrilled to see if his team can keep up the torrid pace that they have been pouring on the offensive yards.
Unfortunately, I don't look for it.
Really?
No.
You think it's all going to go sideways now that Zach Wilson's back?
Well, I mean, and we're going to talk about injuries and quarterbacks and things later in the show, but seeing Connor McDermott's name penciled in as our starting left tackle is enough for me to just go, I don't even want to. I don't even want to watch this. I don't want to do this.
But you're gonna.
Of course I'm going to.
But you're gonna. Because that's what football is. Football is king, and you just can't quit your team, regardless of who they are. Even the Houston Texans fans are excited about what they're going to see this weekend in the NFL, despite the fact that they are probably going to lose again. Who do they even play this week? Who the Houston got on their schedule this week?
Oh, let's see. The Houston Texans get the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, that'll be fun. That will be fun.
Got our first London game, the Minnesota Vikings, New Orleans Saints.
Yep. And that plays into our first topic of the day, Minnesota, New Orleans. They're in London. So that means the stadium in Minnesota not being used. So it is the place that the NFL has decided that if they have to move the Tampa Bay Kansas City game for Sunday Night Football, that's where they're going to move it to.
And let me I don't know if it's the NFL that makes this call. You asked me this before the show. Do the Bucs have the call on this? I don't know the answer to that. Whoever it is, get out of the way of this storm. If you have not seen the footage of it, get out of the way.
Well, the argument is we won't be in the way. We won't be in the way of it because it's hitting today. It's hitting as we speak.
You're not going to clean it up in 4 days.
Oh, I
just go ahead and get in front of this. I don't know why this is that hard, but we'll lose a home gate. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
All right. You're printing money. We'll make it work. Florida State, get out of the way of this.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Cantori's down there just doing what he does, waiting for Hurricane Ian.
Oh, yeah.
T's and P's for Florida.
Standing in the middle of it, and, Hurricane Ian has made landfall right around Port Charlotte, just south of Port Charlotte, right in between Port Charlotte and Fort Myers, Florida, and is causing massive devastation. Obviously the strong winds, 112-mile-per-hour winds that come with the hurricane, never a good thing. It's going to destroy a lot of property down in Florida, and there's going to be a whole lot of flooding that goes on as well. So it's going to it's doing this now in Florida, and it's supposed to head this way to the mountains of western North Carolina at some point.
Looks like it'll be all weekend long.
Mm-hmm. It very well could. So the sports world right now is just trying to figure out where we're at. There have been a lot of schedules that have already been changed. Your boys at Florida State, you got a big game with Wake Forest this weekend.
That we, for some reason, have said, nope.
No.
We're playing it right here, 3:30 on Saturday.
Right.
Dumb. It's dumb. There is no excuse. Don't me. I don't feel good. I'm not going to pander to stupidity. There is nothing.
It's not stupidity.
It's 100% stupidity.
Tallahassee's not.
You have one of the worst hurricanes in the history of this country coming right for you, and you're sitting there going, nope, I'm not going to leave. I think Ron White did a joke about that for a lot of years.
But Tallahassee up in the Panhandle, they're not in the path of the storm.
No, but there is going to be buckets upon buckets of rain. Sure. I've been in this place enough times. It won't go well. I understand why you're doing it. It's just stupid. Well, we don't want to lose the home gate. Stupid. Mm-hmm. I've been to this city. It will not go well. Get out of the way. This is not that difficult.
All right, Shep Smith.
I didn't say anything like what he said.
Shit, jeez. Shep went on TV today telling everybody they're going to die. And that, my friends, is classic Shep Smith. So you guys are waiting. You're waiting to decide what
according to the
do.
border regions, we're going to play this game in Tallahassee.
Mm-hmm. South Florida, supposed to play at Raymond James Stadium on Saturday night against East Carolina, the Fighting Mike Houstons. They've already moved that game to 2:30 on Saturday afternoon in Boca Raton at Florida Atlantic's Howard Schnellenberger Stadium. Florida and Eastern Washington have been moved to Sunday, as has the Central Florida SMU game for this weekend. South Carolina and South Carolina State. Like,
they moved
Columbia
up to
was just like, we're
an
done.
hour from now.
Columbia was like, we've seen this before. We're not doing it.
And that's the right way to treat this.
I agree.
Even if it's passable, the field is not going to be playable. That's the part that I don't seem to think. I can't comprehend how people are not getting this. If you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you got Kansas City coming in. You're already having to move for the week anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Of which, if you could please explain to me how it's better to be in Miami than Tampa.
Because you're south.
Maybe
of
go
the
to
storm.
Texas. Maybe go away from the storm.
Look, you got to remember though. I mean, the people in Florida, they're used to this.
My wife is from Florida. Trust me, I know.
They are used to this. I freaked out the first couple of times I lived in Hurricane Alley down in South Carolina. Tropical storms coming, hurricanes threatening. I'm freaking out, and everybody that lives there is going, this ain't nothing. I stayed here and lived through Hugo, buddy. You don't need to freak out. You don't need to evacuate.
That's one of those things that I've had people say to me over the years, like, "Oh, just batten down the hatches." Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, it's a good call. That's exactly what you should do.
Look,
Cat 5 hurricane.
When they're reversing the interstates so you can get out of Dodge quicker, I'm pretty sure you should probably take that lead.
But we are sports people, so for the sports weekend, it is going to have a tremendous effect.
Yes, everything is going to be kind of in flux.
Anything that's played from here south.
Yes.
Even if it's not actively raining during the game, the effect of what this is going to dump on your stadium is going to have an effect.
And whenever the Atlanta Braves can play this weekend, they will be here on ESPN Asheville. Huge series this weekend with the New York Mets. Both of them tied for first place in the National League East. And they're talking about, what are we going to do? Because we got a 3-game series Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the Mets. It's very important that we get these games in to decide who wins this division and gets the playoff seeding. And they don't know when they're going to be able to play.
Here's a thought. Move it away from the hurricane.
Sure.
Can you give me any reason that this is this difficult? Well, man, you know what? Maybe we'll just batten down the hatches, play 2 on Sunday. Or just move it.
Mm-hmm.
They have baseball fields all over this country.
Yeah.
All over it.
Yeah.
Find a place where it's not a pouring.
The only thing I can think of is what you said. It's the ticket gate. They don't want to have to refund tickets. They don't want to miss out on the revenue that they would miss out on because of the game being moved. So that's why Florida State's holding steady. Obviously, the Tampa, Kansas City thing, like we want to know. We want to know whether or not we can have this game, and there's time to make that decision. Like the storm's moving through today, and so we'll still have a couple of days to determine whether or not the power outages are going to be a problem and the cleanup and all of that. But we don't want to miss having Raymond James Stadium premiered on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, because you haven't been on Sunday Night Football enough times. I'm sure the stadium looks different. They actually used a nice darker shade of red this year. I'm sure everyone will notice.
We're already practicing in Miami this week. Now we got to go to Minnesota. Like, let's just be sure before we.
So here's my question: why did you not just go to Minnesota in the beginning? That's the thing that makes no sense to me. Because I'm going to be honest with you, with all the moving around, I love Kansas City to absolutely throttle you.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd played this in Minnesota, just done the whole week there, I would have thought you had a shot. This way, none.
Mm-hmm.
You're bouncing between 2 cities on both sides of your state. You have no receivers as it sits. So what exactly is the point of that? Why would you have not just flown out Monday? We're in Minnesota this week. That's the way it is. Mm-hmm. This is the card we were dealt.
Mm-hmm.
We get out of the way. We do not need to add something where more cars are on roads down here getting to this stadium. I am not one of those, well, sports doesn't matter people. If you've listened to this show for any period of time, that's not my thing. However, if you can reduce some effort and things that happen in this city that's going through a natural disaster, you should probably do it.
Mm-hmm.
You should probably do that.
West Virginia Willie in the comments on YouTube, money makes people ignore natural disasters. And he put the LOL on the end of it, but it's not. I mean, that's the truth.
It is the truth.
It's the absolute truth.
He also followed up with, I'm currently in Mississippi until all the hoopla is done. See, that's intelligent. That's what smart sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
I got out of the way of the hurricane.
Right.
I've watched these things all day going, this is real easy to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
This is real easy to figure out. Get out of the way.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. As the situation develops, anything breaks, of course, we will bring you the news on that. But the hurricane already causing problems. Like I said, locally, we are going to have high school football on ESPN Asheville tomorrow night. Reynolds and Asheville plus the Tuscola game, because they're moving everything up, because by the time football time comes around on Friday night, we could be seeing the bands of this, at least the bands of this hurricane reaching the mountains of western North Carolina. And we're projected right now to get anywhere from 4 to 10 inches of rain over the 3-day period, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Are you seeing the telomeres here? Come here, look at the scope.
Dr. Ocasio's lab startup just discovered a gene therapy breakthrough.
The cells have already doubled.
He needs a fleet of research assistants before this breakthrough breaks them.
We need lab techs, research assistants.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
That took a lot of ice, but finally Zach Wilson going to be back with the New York Jets after 3 weeks of the season. He had the preseason knee injury and has been officially medically cleared to start on Sunday for Jeremy's New York Jets. And you're not excited?
No, because our entire offensive line is deceased.
I thought you'd be way more excited about this.
I would be if I wasn't afraid that the Pittsburgh Steelers and Alex Highsmith were just going to run through us like a freight train.
Well, I mean, the defense might, but at least the offense isn't. You could take solace in that.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't have one.
Jets Steelers under. I don't even know what the under is, and I don't care. Under. Did they set that stupidly high? I want it to be like 44.5, 41.5. They split the baby in half.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have had it at 38.5.
And you're going under.
Oh, yeah. That's one of those could be first one to 10.
Despite the fact that you guys can't or despite the fact that they can't stop the pass?
Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Well, Zach Wilson's going to take 5 steps and duck. I don't think you understand that we have a rookie fourth-round right tackle and a guard playing left tackle. And not a good guard. Like, not an Ike Mequano where he's a guard, but we're going to try him at left tackle to see how this works. This is a legitimate, been in the league many years and played guard.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see a lot of C.J. Uzomah helping on that side. That's one of the grossest games of what is otherwise a pretty good weekend. Starts tomorrow, Dolphins-Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a banger.
And have you seen the field?
Oh, yeah. Cincinnati, you know what? I'm not big into the duds. Don't necessarily jerseys and things like that. Don't really do it for me. Just convert the entire operation to the white Bengal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Going with the white tiger motif this weekend. And they have redone the field. The midfield logo and the end zones have been redone in a similar fashion. It's all gray and black. It's just sleek looking.
Oh, it's very good. That's as good of an alternate as you will ever see.
Mm-hmm.
As good as you will ever see.
I don't know that I can remember a team doing that, though. Changing their end zones just for a specialty game.
The Giants do it all the time.
Do they?
They did it Monday night.
Did they?
When they wear that color rush with the old school Giants, you'll see the old school Giants in the end zone.
Ah, gotcha. I mean, it's not as good as Cleveland's Brownie in the middle of the field, but
the Keebler elf in the middle of the field.
It's close.
I really enjoyed watching the Jets pass that as we were beating you.
And it was all Brownie's fault. He just didn't do enough chores. That's it. New Orleans Saints quarterback Jameis Winston says he plans to play on Sunday in London against the Minnesota Vikings. He was not at practice today. They just say it was a day of rest. Andy Dalton was out there taking all the snaps with the first team. Taysom Hill took some as the emergency quarterback as well. And I feel like that's just a preview of 2 weeks from now.
Oh, no doubt.
When Andy Dalton takes over as the starting quarterback.
When Andrew I will say this. Minnesota-New Orleans provides a really interesting dichotomy. Because, no, that's not technically a primetime game, but it is a national game.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins has never been good in national games that weren't in the 1 or 4 o'clock slate. So you get Jameis, who has fully embraced bad Jameis, against primetime Kirk Cousins. Yikes.
And what do we know about the international games?
They're always sludge fests.
Yeah, they're always
And weird things happen.
Mm-hmm. Weird things happen. The games usually are a disappointment. The way you think it's going to go is never the way that it actually goes.
That is one set of games that Vegas has notoriously been wrong on.
But hey, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the time for all those Alvin Kamara fantasy football owners who are ticked off right now to see a bounce back.
Hey, if you're one of those, start of the 4 o'clock hour, we got a new segment. It will be a Wednesday staple moving forward. So excited.
You're not going to tell them what the theme or anything?
It's Fantivus.
There we go.
It's a Fantivus for the Scantivus. I don't know. The rest of us doesn't fit.
The Scantivus.
Airing of grievances, all the things. Fantasy football, what should you be worried about? And it ties into real life football. Should you be worried about these guys? Yes,
right.
No. Will there be a bounce back?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of very strange takes on players that I've seen over the course of the day.
Also coming up at the top of the third hour of the program, we will have a daily draft today, and we'll be doing MVP candidates.
And we will not have Ryan Tannehill, in spite of the fact PFF has him as the 12th most likely player to win the MVP.
But how?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I was gonna say, by what measure do they believe that he should even be in the discussion? I would start listing off defensive players before I would get to Ryan Tannehill.
No doubt. Micah Parsons would be higher than Ryan Tannehill by a lot.
Micah Parsons, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill has no shot, so he will not be in the daily draft today, but Jeremy and I pitting our wits against each other once again in the daily draft, talking about MVP candidates. Have we heard anything on Mac Jones?
Unlikely to play. It appears that it will be a Brian Hoyer week.
Ooh. Yay. Ooh. But are you that are you that upset about it? I mean, if New England Patriots fans, Bill Belichick, if you're in the comments today, hey, is there any difference to you?
In Lambeau? No. You're going to Lambeau. Unless somehow you were bringing Tommy back for this, none of it was going to matter. They are the biggest dog of the weekend.
As they should be.
The biggest dog of the weekend. In a week where you have the Texans and the Bears both playing.
Yeah, but I mean, consider what you're facing. You're facing the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, I'm well aware of that.
We're not pleased with how last week went against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we know how Aaron Rodgers loves his revenge games.
Oh, I'm well aware of what's going to happen. It's the biggest line of the week, and I can already tell you which side I'm going to be on, and it's on the cheese side.
Green Bay Packers to cover whatever the number ends up being. But you got the Chargers playing the Texans, and, you know, we've said that the Houston Texans are that scrappy little team that nobody's going to want to play, and the Chargers have a whole bevy of issues themselves. Justin Herbert with his cracked rib cartilage and his bevy of injured players around him. You don't feel as good about that offense.
I feel better than 5, which is what that's currently sitting at. I saw that line and went, oh, cool, free money. I love free money.
Mm-hmm. But Romeo Doubs going 8 for 8 this past week. People are starting to believe. Vegas is starting to believe.
Vegas never stopped believing on Green Bay. That was a public narrative thing. There is a reason that I do not overreact to things because I'm a Vegas guy.
Mm-hmm.
I learned this lesson a long time ago. If you want to look like a big dum-dum, overreact to things on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm. But the Bears are playing the Giants this week, and they're not really the offensive juggernaut.
No, but I have a dedicated this week, after 3 bad weeks of picking NFL football games, I am deep into the Vegas side of all of this week.
Okay.
There shan't be another 5-11 week for me.
Well, that's good to know, because I expect that out of me.
Yes.
They do not expect that out of you.
No. Got to get back on the right track.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We're talking MVPs at the top of the third hour of the program. Coming up next, we'll get just a bit outside, and I'll give you an update on the Heisman Watch in college football.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pleasant fall weather for us again Thursday. Then we'll start to see some clouds and eventually some rain move in as we head through Friday and into our upcoming weekend. Fair to partly cloudy skies here tonight. Cool temperatures into low 40s. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us tomorrow. Cool temperatures tomorrow afternoon, reaching highs in the middle to upper 60s. Cloudy Friday with a chance of late day showers, low 60s. Better rain chances into the weekend. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Hey, Taco Bell fans, double-decker taco or enchilada? Which one would you want back on the menu? From September 28th to October 5th, vote once daily for your choice in the Taco Bell app. The winner will return to participating stores for 2 weeks while supplies last. No purchase necessary.
The Honest Truly Calming Collection is our must-have for Hazy's nighttime routine. The tear-free shampoo body wash and moisturizing conditioner help make bath time easy. The Truly Calming face and body lotion nourishes his delicate skin throughout the night. Honest overnight diapers keep leaks on lock for up to 12 hours, so we can both get a good night's sleep. For sweet dreams, end your kiddo's day with the Honest Truly Calming Collection.
When Big Mobile charges you an arm and a leg, they're taking your money and your power. And your arm and leg. Boost Mobile gives your power back with an unlimited plan for $25 a month on one of America's largest 5G networks. We can't give you back your arm and your leg because we're not qualified surgeons. Unless you're an iguana who can grow limbs back. Switch to Boost and get an unlimited plan for $25 a month. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. New customers only. One line, $25 per month with autopay. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Check us out at thesportsocracy.com. It's college football season. And, of course, as players continue to put up monster stats at the college level, there's always going to be talk about whether or not they should be on the Heisman watch list. There's one player in college football that has not been mentioned in any Heisman Trophy watch list, but is putting up some amazing numbers. Nearly 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 1 interception. His team is ranked number 8 in the country, and his coach/dad says he needs to be on the Heisman watch list. Deion Sanders, of course, talking about his son Shedeur Sanders at Jackson State. They have demolished everybody they played except for Tennessee State. That was a relatively close game, but they still ended up winning by 2 scores, I believe. Never has a FCS player or a player from a historically black college been a Heisman winner. Only one time has there ever been a finalist. You know who it is?
Steve Mcnair.
Steve Mcnair, that's right. Steve Mcnair from Alcorn State, who, of course, set all kinds of records with a 5,377 passing yards, 47 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, also ran for 9 touchdowns and nearly 1,000 yards in his Heisman finalist season. He ended up finishing third in the Heisman voting. But should we be taking this seriously? Should we be looking at Shedeur Sanders and what he's been doing with Jackson State as a realistic Heisman candidate?
No.
Or is it just we just completely disregard the FCS?
I'm not going to say disregard it, but, I mean, the 4 games that he has played, he has beaten Tennessee State, who you mentioned, Grambling, FAMU, and Mississippi Valley State. Yeah, that's not winning you a Heisman. Not in a world with C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, even Jalen Daniels. It's not going to happen. I understand why Deion's doing it. And after I tell my outside story, I am going to make an impassioned plea that has to do with your story.
Okay.
My story is about your quarterback. And I don't know why this is rubbing me the wrong way so badly, but it really is. Did you see the long sleeve shirt he was wearing on Sunday with his high school yearbook picture on it?
Tommy?
Yeah.
No.
Brady was wearing a long sleeve shirt that had his high school yearbook picture, and underneath it, it said, "Greatness lasts forever." Made the rounds on Twitter. It was a little bit of a strange thing. Maybe he's just being funny. Whatever. Well, now we know why he did it. Because he's selling them for $45 a piece.
Yikes.
That's for the short sleeve. Long sleeve, $55. The hoodie is $100. But it's 100% cotton. And what is your point?
Will it wipe
Tommy?
my hind parts for me? Because it's the only way that I'm going to spend $100 on a hoodie.
The Brady brand is now selling that shirt. And even with the eccentric prices, you'll have to wait 4 to 6 weeks because, production.
Rona
did it.
Yeah.
4 to 6 weeks. Stop that. At that price, it should literally just appear in your hand.
All right, so what? So is it just the exorbitant amount of money that he's asking for these items that's rubbing you the wrong way?
The production quality's low. All of it irritates me. And look, Tommy, I get it. I understand that alimony payment's probably going to hurt. I get it. I see where you're positioning yourself. I trust me. I understand. All right, been there, done that. Got T-shirts. See me do it. But okay, get somewhere. Get somewhere with your terrible shirt. $100 for a hoodie. Stop that.
No, sorry.
Most unlikable player on the planet Earth, and he somehow found a way to make himself more unlikable.
He is a brand unto himself, though, and they're going to sell. You know they will.
Unfortunately, I know you're right.
You know
That's
they will.
That's the thing that irks me, is that I know you're right.
Of course.
Tom Brady.
So what is your impassioned plea here?
So Georgia Tech fired Jeff Collins on Monday.
Yeah.
We've started getting the preliminary, this is what we could do at Georgia Tech. I've heard Jamie Chadwell, Coastal Carolina. I get it.
Wouldn't be bad.
It's not a terrible hire. Bill O'Brien, offense coordinator from Alabama. Not a terrible hire.
Reasonable.
Troy Calhoun from Air Force. Josh Gaddis, Miami's offensive coordinator. All I'm sure would be fine hires for a Georgia Tech program that is about as – they're Vanderbilt level listless. But I'm going to make an impassioned plea for something.
Okay.
Because I know not only would he listen, I know definitively he would take it. It's Deion Sanders. That's the call. End of message. Repeat the line.
Okay.
End of message. Repeat the line. Don't interview anybody else. If you hire anybody else, you should have your head examined. Let me explain to you why. Deion was this close to taking the TCU job last year. They hired Sonny Dykes, and if you watch the SMU game, you see why they leaned on Sonny Dykes. The state of Texas is weird. Things are just different. They like having people that understand these rivalries. He had worked there. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Who drafted Deion Sanders? The Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
How far is Georgia Tech's stadium from the Falcons Stadium?
From the Dome? 4 miles?
If that.
Yeah.
It takes about 7 minutes by car to get there.
Well, depending on
the time
of day.
If you want to find a way. Oh, yeah.
Depending on the time of day.
There are times they can take 4 hours.
Exactly.
You might be better off getting out and walking.
Right. It's 17 blocks away, but it's going to take you 20 minutes.
There's no other call to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he would listen. He wanted the Florida State job. That was the ultimate goal. That's how he started talking about coaching, is he wanted the Florida State job.
And that's out the window now.
It's out the window for a year. And look, Mike Norvell, you got to give the man his flowers. You got him at 4-0. They're a 7-point favorite against Wake Forest. They push him to 5-0 with a date with Clemson looming. You're not getting the Florida State job. So what is the next best thing? He was willing to talk about a job in Texas where recruiting ties are going to be difficult. That's a tough place to go in and recruit, even for Deion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's not a tough place to recruit for Deion? Atlanta, where he is. If there was a Mount Rushmore of Atlanta athletes historically, Deion Sanders is 1, 2, and 4.
Absolutely.
This is the easiest decision in the history of college football. And from what I've been told, he knows. It's going to take one more jump. I can do whatever I want to at Jackson State. He can go 12-0, win the FCS national title, and it's still going to take a jump. Mike Houston did this when he took the East Carolina job. He left James Madison, knew there was going to have to be a jump before he got the Power 5 job. Deion could actually take a step out of that, take the Georgia Tech job. All you have to do is win 7 games. You win 7 games a year, they'll build statues to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he's recruiting at Jackson State right now, this is the only hire to make.
They could be a player in the ACC within a few years.
I don't know that they'd ever be a player in the ACC. They would recruit really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
There is a misnomer that the ACC is bad football. I've heard it compared to the Pac-12. I've heard it compared to the Big 12. Well, the Big 12 has Texas and Oklahoma right now. When they come out, the Big 12 will be leaps and bounds behind the ACC. You have 5 legitimate top 25 programs right now, and Miami's not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the decision. There's nothing else to do here. And I've seen the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the beat writer that we at ESPN have for Georgia Tech, and Deion's like 7. Like, we throw him in there. Yeah, he could be a candidate. No, he's not he is the candidate.
He's the candidate.
He is the only candidate. And if you do anything else, you should be fired for ineptitude.
I mean, obviously, I would make the call if I'm Georgia Tech. And I don't know who's making that call. I don't know how early the process is going to begin on that.
Well, I mean, they're not going to make a long-term hire until after the year.
Oh, of course.
But you have a leg up here because this is how college coaching connections work. You fire your coach early. You have somebody, a runner, make contact with his agent and say, well, after the year, we would really like to talk to Deion. Put the bug in his ear the minute the season's over.
The only thing that I can think of is the reason he's not number 1 listed on these lists, because, I mean, these are smart people that are putting the lists out, is they don't know that he would take it.
He would 100% take it. Do not concern yourself with that. I promise you he would take it. Gonna have to trust me on that one. Friend of a friend, little wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
He's just waiting on any Power 5 offer.
He can say everything he wants about HBCUs, and he has done a great job for them.
Mm-hmm.
He wants a Power 5 job. Am I telling you he's going to put it on a billboard? No. He listened to everybody that called last year. Was ready to take the TCU job. I have it on good authority. He called assistants, positioning them. Will you join me in Fort Worth?
Mm-hmm.
So save me that he wouldn't take it. He totally would. That's a big media market. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is how the game's played. You want to talk about Bill Clark. You want to talk about Todd Monken.
Mm-hmm.
X's and O's, that might win you football games. A few. And by win you football games, I mean, great, you'll go 4-8 now. You'll still get your win over North Illinois and whatever FCS school you bring in and pay them $500,000 to get freight train.
And maybe you can win a game in ACC play.
Yeah, against Boston College. Great. That's not how college is played anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You have to win the press conference. You have to win the parents. You have to win all of these things, whether it's social media, whether it's clicks, whatever. Deion is the ace in the hole. The no doubt ace in the hole. And if you don't do this, Georgia Tech hadn't even crossed my mind, to be really honest with you, because that's such a woebegone program that it crossed my mind. Maybe he wouldn't take that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll take that.
See, that's where I come down. I'm not so sure he would take that with the structure that's there, the culture that's there. I mean, obviously, you're hired as the head coach to come in and build the culture and to be the change that you seek, obviously. And Deion would be great at it. I have no doubts about that. I think he could go into any program in the country and turn it around regardless. He could go to Nebraska and probably get kids to come to Nebraska to play for Deion Sanders.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. Because a little birdie told me they've identified their favorite for that job.
Yeah,
it's Dave Aranda.
Not bad.
And that's my point. All right, so look at those two hires. Just go down the rabbit hole with me for a second.
Okay.
You hired Dave Aranda at Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
This is a program that has been a disaster for the better part of 20 years. And Dave Aranda is a fine coach. Got Baylor in the Big 12 title game. Blah, 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 blah. Does it win the press conference?
No.
Anybody look at that and go, oh, yeah, Nebraska's back. They'll play better defense. They may very well be a 6-7 win team a year. It changes nothing for recruiting. It changes nothing for budgets. It changes nothing down the line. Now, conversely, look at Atlanta, one of the biggest media markets in the country, and you hired Deion.
Mm-hmm.
Does that win the press conference?
It's a home run.
There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go. This is not that hard. There are two things that I think a lot of people make way harder than they are. Hiring college coaches is not that hard. The stuffy, old-school, 65-year-old, well, he's been an assistant forever. Unless it's Sam Pittman that's crushing domestic lights and it starts trending on Twitter because of things he says.
Right.
Okay, that guy might be able to build a program. He's been around it for so long, you got a shot. You can save me on all the Dave Arandas. And I like the guy. I do. Does he ever win a national title?
No.
No, because he can't recruit that way. This is how the game is played. Deion Sanders is out recruiting Dave Aranda right now at Jackson State. What do you think he will do with an Atlanta media market, Atlanta corporations that would be just fighting themselves to get NIL deals done with these kids?
Definitely.
Deion shows up with Shador at Georgia Tech. How many companies that are centered in Atlanta do you think would be lined up going, we'll sign him? We'll give him $1 million right now.
All of them. Coca-Cola, Chick-fil-A. I mean, you name it. Every headquarters that's in Atlanta would be dying to get a part of that action.
I would agree.
I don't hate it. I don't hate the idea. That I just think, is there going to be a better offer? Is there going to be another job that comes open that would be higher profile for prime time? I get it's in the city that he played professional sports in. Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta Braves, I get it. But
so, I mean, what's that higher profile
UCLA?
job? Stop.
I don't know.
UCLA can't even figure out what conference they're playing in.
They're going to be in the
UCLA.
Big Ten.
Obviously, we haven't heard the latest scuttlebutt of
No, I haven't. What?
the legislation in California trying to block them. The commissioner of the Pac-12 is trying to block them, and it's getting traction. UCLA.
How?
UCLA will be calling me before Deion Sanders will take their call.
Really?
Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
I hadn't heard any of
and
that.
they're good. I'll go ahead and give you a banger early this week. They're going to get beat by 900 points against Washington.
Right.
But that's the point. What job is if you're higher than Georgia Tech, you're not calling Deion. Because you're just not there yet. You're just not to that point with him yet. Yeah, he's done a great job recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to lose at Georgia Tech. How can you be any worse? You were a triple option team trying to run the spread for 2 years. There's no fail here.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska, there's a fail. He comes in and can't recruit. Okay, well, we're going to see what kind of coach he is. And I don't know the answer to that.
Right.
UCLA, you're going to have a magnifying glass put right on you in LA, and it's uncomfortable, untenable. I'm good. I'll pass.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Georgia Tech's the layup.
Georgia Tech is the sweet spot for Deion to make his first step to the next step, because that's not the end.
Oh no,
this is not a long.
He will ultimately be the next coach at Florida State. The only problem is that Mike Norvell has now been just good enough that he's blocked you off from this job for probably the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, because now you're back in the top 25, and who knows? Sky's the limit. Jeremy says he felt like it was the good old days again.
Yeah, but it's against
weekend.
Boston College. We used to do that to top 25 teams. Here we did it to the best team in the state of Massachusetts.
Good job. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
What QC Kinetics is doing for people around here is nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real, lasting relief from joint pain. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. Maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greenville. That's QC Kinetics. 828-333-9517.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part? Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit. Because shed happens.
When Big Mobile charges you an arm and a leg, they're taking your money and your power. And your arm and leg. Boost Mobile gives your power back with an unlimited plan for $25 a month on one of America's largest 5G networks. We can't give you back your arm and your leg because we're not qualified surgeons. Unless you're an iguana who can grow limbs back. Switch to Boost and get an unlimited plan for $25 a month. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. New customers only. One line, $25 per month with autopay. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Back here in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville on Monday. Single car crash after Cleveland Browns practice sent defensive lineman Myles Garrett to the hospital. Also, his female passenger was sent to the hospital as well. Now we're finding out that Garrett, apparently he plans to play this week.
That is the goal. According to Mary Kay Cabot, that is the way it looks right now.
He had a shoulder sprain and a bicep strain, plus minor bumps and cuts and bruises in the crash. Thankfully, it was not more serious than that.
He apparently had to swerve out of the way of an animal.
Which, I mean, good for you.
I mean, it's more,
depending
in all honesty,
depending on the animal, why'd you swerve would be my question.
If it was a squirrel.
Right. Like I've always wondered, like, oh, my God, I almost wrecked on the way to work today. There was a squirrel in the middle of the road. Crush that sucker and don't risk your life.
At Sports Tank ESPN.
You can hit me up all you want to. Now,
I mean,
if it's a deer that's going to total the car, I understand that.
Well, I mean, the car was totaled anyway. And in all reality, it's shocking that he didn't have significantly worse injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Pat McAfee talking about this earlier. Myles Garrett and I are very close to the same size. I don't know if you've ever sat in a Porsche like that. Your feet are under the engine. I mean, he's basically laying down in this car.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that that's all that happened to him, good for Porsche.
Yeah.
Your safety features are obviously worth the price tag.
Right. He was reportedly driving home from practice around 3 o'clock on Monday afternoon. When he crashed, the car went off the right side of the road and flipped multiple times before coming to a stop. He and his passenger were wearing their seatbelts, so ladies and gentlemen, wear your seatbelts. You never know when there's going to be a squirrel, and you may lose control of the car.
This reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where George hits the squirrel and his girlfriend makes him nurse it back to health. Because they had a deal with the pigeons. You drive at a pigeon flies away. We have no deal with the squirrels.
Get control of your weight loss problem today. I mean, if you're like me, you've had a weight loss problem for a long time. I've always been a big guy, and I never could find a program that I could stick to and actually lose the weight. Well, guess what? With the PhD weight loss program, I've lost over 90 pounds since last Thanksgiving. We're doing something new this week. We're kind of taking a break. I want to get used to this new 200-pound frame that I'm in. So we're working on muscle building because I found out that after I lost 90 pounds, there are no muscles. I'm basically just bones with like a big bag of skin over it right now. So we're trying to tighten things up. We're adding a little bit more protein to the diet, but that's what they do at the PhD. If you're uncomfortable, they will adjust the plan so that you can get more comfortable in your new skin.
I'm not sure I'm ready for a muscle tank. For me, about this time last year, I had gotten to my heaviest, and I needed a change. Thanks to PhD, over the course of 9 months, I have lost almost 70 pounds. I'm back into the 240s, and I feel fantastic thanks to PhD Weight Loss.
PhD Weight Loss can help you change your life. Go to myphdweightloss.com today. See how they can help you. PhD Weight Loss is the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. Brand new segment coming up on the program after the Sports Center update at the top of the hour. You've all heard of Fantivus. Fantivus for the rest of us, made famous by, of course, the Seinfeld episode, Jerry Stiller, the great Jerry Stiller. Well, we're calling this Fantivus. It's fantasy football, and we're going to have an airing of grievances. We are going to have the raising of the Fantivus poll. We need a Fantivus poll.
I could probably make that happen.
We will find one somewhere, as this is going to be a new Wednesday segment each and every day here in the Sportsocracy. Stick with us after the break. We're talking about the wins and the losses, as gross as they may be, in fantasy football in 2022.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pleasant fall weather for us again Thursday. Then we'll start to see some clouds and eventually some rain move in as we head through Friday and into our upcoming weekend. Fair to partly cloudy skies here tonight. Cool temperatures into low 40s. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us tomorrow. Cool temperatures tomorrow afternoon, reaching highs in the middle to upper 60s. Cloudy Friday with a chance of late day showers, low 60s. Better rain chances into the weekend. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Audible. This fall, find everything you love listening to on Audible. From memoirs and true crime to celebrities and sci-fi. Audible is the home of storytelling, audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
The Panthers try to make it 2 straight as their 3-game homestand continues this Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. Join me and Ace Schroff, along with Jake Delhomme, Luke Kuechly, and Kristen Balboni on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network. Pre-game is at 3, kickoff follows at 4.
Panther football, live all season long on News Radio 570 WWNC.
Hey Taco Bell fans, double-decker taco or enchilada? Which one would you want back on the menu? From September 28th to October 5th, vote once daily for your choice in the Taco Bell app. The winner will return to participating stores for 2 weeks while supplies last, no purchase necessary.
Hi, this is Jay Glazer, and you may know me from shows like the NFL on Fox, HBO's Ballers, but what you may not know is for my entire life, I have lived in something I refer to as the gray: depression, anxiety, and ADD. So now I'm coming out with a new podcast, Unbreakable, a mental health podcast where we talk about mental health. I hope to describe it so we can have this conversation and walk this walk together. Listen to Unbreakable with Jay Glazer on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, Chargers star edge rusher Joey Bosa placed on injured reserve with a designation to return because of a groin injury. He will have surgery. He's out at least 4 games, is expected to return later this season. Bosa is one of several injured players for L.A. As of now, the Buccaneers are still scheduled to host the Chiefs on Sunday night. If the game needs to be moved because of Hurricane Ian, it will be relocated to Minneapolis. A positive development on the field, meantime, for quarterback Tom Brady. Receiver reinforcements for this week, explains ESPN NFL reporter Kimberly Martin.
Mike Evans, he gets back. Julio Jones, Todd Bowles had said that he could have played with the knee injury, but they decided to hold him out. So you anticipate he's on track to play. Now, Chris Godwin, that's the big piece, and that's the one that's most unclear right now. He's missed significant time, came back, and now he's sort of, got to get back.
Kimberly Martin on Get Up. Evans returning after his 1-game suspension. Godwin is dealing with a hamstring injury. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson medically cleared from his knee injury, and he will start Sunday against the Steelers. The injury sidelined him the first 3 games of the season.
As the leaves change, leave the hiring to Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We're coming to you live from the Ingles Studio, as always, and we're also always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Go check them out at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention us when you go for your to trade in your car to get one of their new cars or one of their certified pre-owned vehicles. They go through the big inspection every time to make sure that you're getting a good deal. And when you mention us, they will give you a $250 bonus on top of whatever your trade-in is worth.
And they want to buy your car whether you're in the market to buy a car or not. Call them today, 629 Brevard Road. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Check us out at thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Every time we are live here on ESPN Asheville, you can also see us on YouTube. You can also see us on YouTube when we're not on ESPN Asheville. Unfortunately, Jeremy, as you can hear the sound of his voice, he's feeling under the weather this morning.
Jeremy's somewhere between death. I'm at death's door, but I'm not quite like laying on the doormat yet. I'm on the porch, but I haven't fully gone through it yet.
So there was no mullet in the dude this morning. But yesterday, there was a mullet man in the Canadan. Right?
Just shorter one me by myself. The Canadan's still going through power issues.
Yeah, because of Fiona, was it? What was that the name of the tropical storm that hit up there in Canada?
It was the F hurricane.
Right.
We're on the I hurricane.
Right, because he lives up there in Newfoundland or something and got hit, power outages and all that. Still sending out T's and P's to David Smith of Armchair Commentary. But anyway, Mullet Man and the Canadan usually on Tuesdays to give you all your waiver wire tips for the week. You got the Mullet and the Dude, the Uncensored Morning Show on Wednesdays. And then, of course, on Sundays, the Fantasy Game Time Decision, as Jeremy and I and Armchair, when he's available, will be giving you all of the tips for your fantasy football day. Just subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that'll get you into the chat as well. So you got any opinions, you don't like what we're talking about, throw your comments in, and, if you say something dumb, the House of Reprehensibles will take care of that. And they
are like the bouncers at the door.
And we will highlight your comments here on the program. Now, it is time for Fantivus.
A Festivus for the rest of them. And tell them all the ways they have disappointed you over the past year. Serenity now! Serenity now! Let's rumble! The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
All right, it is Fantivus and fantasy football. It is time for the airing of grievances. Look, you went out on a limb. You didn't think you were going out on a limb, drafting some guys really early in fantasy football, and they just haven't lived up to the hype yet.
And there's only one place you can possibly start. It's with my running back one for this season, Mr. Alvin Kamara. If you had to take a guess in a regular PPR, and now this is going to have a fantasy lean, but it works for regular football anyway, even if you don't play fantasy football. If you had to guess in a regular PPR, point per reception for those of you that don't play, where would you say Alvin Kamara ranks through 3 weeks?
16?
54.
54?
He is 54.
Amongst
he
all
is currently amongst running backs. He is currently tied with Darrell Williams. Now, he missed a game. I get it. And for me, I'm very angry at how the first 3 weeks have started. But I'm looking to the future. Looking at where things can go from here. This week, Minnesota Vikings. I do believe that this game being in London, I like Kamara better this week than I have in the past. Date with the Seahawks, date with the Bengals, who will not have DJ Reader. I think it's going to be fine. I think it will be just fine. And you can chalk this up to a little rust. Had some things going on in the offseason.
Missed a game to injury.
And, he's been bad even when he's played. The thing that should be encouraging is that there's not another running back on the roster. It's not like they can go, well, you've been so bad, let's go to Mark Ingram, who's 407 years old. So I think you're fine there.
Latavius Murray, didn't they bring him back?
Not to my knowledge. If they have, I don't know about it. The only 2 running backs that played last week were Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. And he outsnapped him 2-1. It's going to be fine. I will say this. I would like it better if Andrew Dalton made an appearance. That would make me feel better about Alvin Kamara.
Well, Jameis never did the check down thing to running backs. So, but you say Alvin Kamara, it's not time to tap out.
No. I mean, unless somebody will give you what we thought he was worth in the beginning. If you can go get James Robinson and Stephon Diggs, okay,
All right. Now we're talking. That's 2 starters for one. Now we're talking.
Okay.
That's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I saw in the comments leading into this here segment, Austin Eckler. Yikes. On a scale of, and now look, he's a player that I'm invested in exactly 0 places. This is your guy. Mm-hmm. So I will let you air the grievances since I don't actually tangibly have any with him.
Well, I mean, I am invested in him a great deal because I've always been an Austin Eckler believer. And it's always been because of his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. Like, he's the perfect PPR fantasy football back. The problem is he doesn't get used the way he should. I feel like he needs to be that Christian McCaffrey level type. Back in 3 years ago, Christian McCaffrey level of usage out of the backfield. Remember when he had the 1,000 season? I don't think Austin Eckler is ever going to do the things that Christian McCaffrey can do on the ground, running between the tackles and such. But there is little excuse for me that Austin Eckler's not catching 100 balls a year. I thought that was how he was going to be used, especially with Justin Herbert coming along and developing as a quarterback. You can use that as your security blanket.
All right,
I'm not
going to lie. I set you up for this.
Okay.
How many catches does he have through 3 weeks? You said he should be 100-yard or 100 reception running back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're what? Just under a sixth of the way through the season?
Mm-hmm.
How many catches does he have?
How many?
Take a stab at it. It's a guess.
17.
21.
Okay.
He's on pace for over 100 catches. He's exactly what we told you he would be. He can't run between the tackles. There's 2 things killing him. One, he's averaging 2.5 yards a carry. That's not good. And without Rashawn Slater and with Storm Norton and Trey Pipkins on the outside, I don't know that that's ever going to change.
Mm-hmm.
Where it looks really bad is that he hasn't scored in 3 games. Touchdowns are cyclical.
Mm-hmm.
That's the danger. That's the reason I'm in 0 places invested in Austin Eckler. Because I knew going into this, he's going to be very, very, very touchdown dependent. Because he can't run up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I caught so much flack from Chargers fans saying, "Oh, do you even watch the games, bro?" Yeah, I do. I do. And he can't run between the guards. Can't, never been able to, never will be able to. Just relax. He's still getting the passing down work exactly like you expect him to.
Mm-hmm.
When the touchdowns flip, it's going to be just fine. If you were looking at total running backs, how many running backs in the NFL in PPR have scored more points than Austin Eckler through 3 weeks?
12.
It's exactly 12. And of the ones that surprise you, Khalil Herbert, Jamal Williams, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and James Robinson. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think those 4 things keep happening. And when they don't, where does he end up? At 9, exactly where you drafted him.
Exactly where you had him. Okay.
It's fine. Now, a guy that I'm very heavily invested in, and I do have a legitimate grievance, but it's not with him. Najee Harris. There are not 3 better running backs in the NFL than him. The problem is he's the only thing this team can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I am actually starting to panic on. I am getting nervous that it's never going to be as good as I want it to be. But here's the sunshiny day. The Steelers' line is not actually as bad as people make it out to be. Where does it grade if you look at analytical grades in the NFL?
Overall?
Overall. You'd think it'd be 28.
Sure.
It's 21.
Okay.
It's not good,
right,
but it's very close to mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
I fully believe with Kenny Pickett, who has a bigger arm than Mitch Trubisky. Trubisky's more mobile. That's why I fell in love with Najee Harris. I thought Trubisky's ability to get out of the pocket would open up some running lanes, draws, screens, things like that. Here's what I failed to realize. Matt Canada is more stubborn than I am, and he's going to do what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, Mitch Trubisky can't do that. So I'm nervous. I'm scared. I got some grievances. Most of them are with Mr. Canada and Mr. Tomlin. Not so much with Najee.
Mm-hmm.
He's still a dog. But I am getting a little nervous.
I feel like you should be nervous. about the entire Pittsburgh Steelers outlook.
You should be, because they haven't been good.
Mm-hmm.
The offense is not good. It's not good at football. It's not good at football.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last of the running backs, and I've heard this one a lot, Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
I get it. He's 16th in the NFL. That's not what you drafted him in the first round to be. But I'm going to ask a question. How many running backs in the NFL have more touches than Joe Mixon?
5.
Would you like to hear the list again?
Oh, he's number 1?
He's number 1.
Wow.
He has 71 touches through 3 weeks. And that's with him not playing the vast majority of the second half against the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a player, for all of these questions I get asked, well, my team's, it's in the tank. What do I do? Where do I go? What do I need? Joe Mixon. He's the answer to this question.
Mm-hmm.
Because whoever has him is looking at this going, I'm in danger. Just full Ralph Wiggum. Because they're not digging deep enough to realize this is all about touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line hasn't been good. You had to knock the rust off Joe Burrow. But they fully are committed to Joe Mixon.
P.S. Zach Taylor, stop it with Samaje Perine. Like, really?
That was because Mixon was hurt.
He's the one?
That's because Mixon was hurt.
Well, I mean, I get he wasn't on the field at the moment, but I'm just saying, like, I watch fantasy. I mean, I'm a big fantasy football player, and obviously we watch every Sunday. And every Sunday, I wonder if you all are like me. I'm sitting there in front of the television going, why are we 8 touchdowns into today and none of them have helped anyone? Because it always starts out with, like, Samaje Perine and Tyler Kroft, and the list can go on of the irrelevant fantasy guys that wind up in the end zone. It's so frustrating.
Allow me to take that as somebody that knows the sport pretty well and has a lot of friends that work in it. Because they don't care about your fantasy team.
I know they don't, but damn it, they should.
No, they shouldn't. No.
Who was it that came out and apologized the other day to their fantasy football?
To be honest with you, that's happened so many times that I stopped keeping track.
Yeah, it was somebody the other day. I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been like Aaron Jones or somebody. Just, I apologize, guys. I'm gonna get it together. We finally saw Derrick Henry would have been on this list last week, but we finally saw him do some things this past week.
Derrick Henry to me is right where he needs to be.
I feel
getting about 20 touches a game. That I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
I am hunky dunky with that.
Mm-hmm. Through the first 3 weeks, though, it has been surprise after surprise after surprise. I mean, the number 1 running back in fantasy football right now is Saquon Barkley.
I loved him so much. I have so many shares of Saquon.
I do too, because I was picking him up in the second. I think one draft. I even got him at the top of the 3rd round.
Yep.
And I went, that was dumb.
Now, if you had James Robinson as the 3, you're a witch.
I have some of that as well.
I do too.
I have some of that as well because he was last until the 5th and 6th rounds in some drafts.
I do too.
So, I get it. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Stop.
See you. Are you ready? You ready to back off on?
Good Lord, no. I'm not ready to back off on Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Number 4 running back in fantasy football.
Through 3 games, he has 3 touchdowns. He had played 23 games before that and had 11 total.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm going to say that's not going to keep happening.
Khalil Herbert at the top of the waiver wire pickup list this week.
Yeah, if you didn't get him this week, you're not going to.
Oh, no.
If you're a David Montgomery guy, it should scare you that he had not been very effective, and then Khalil Herbert shows up and goes, I can show you how to do this.
Yeah, what was it, 157 yards rushing?
By the way,
and 2 touchdowns this past week?
If you listen to our draft coverage, I believe there was a wise man that was really high on Khalil Herbert. Oh, yeah, me!
Old Flostradamus, Jeremy Greene. You are in the Sportsocracy. It is Fantivus for the rest of us here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Lane delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue, 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Brevard Road northbound is stop and go between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the NC Arboretum. Hendersonville Road northbound is slow, approaching Mills Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, delays. US 23 southbound, approaching Canton between Happy
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Hey, Taco Bell fans, double-decker taco or enchilada? Which one would you want back on the menu? From September 28th to October 5th, vote once daily for your choice in the Taco Bell app. The winner will return to participating stores for 2 weeks while supplies last. No purchase necessary.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Streaming now. Minion Mayhem has come to Peacock.
This is the biggest day of my life.
So grab the popcorn.
Minions, assemble!
For the most diabolical movie ever.
I am going to be a super villain. I'm not Minnie. Please stop calling me that.
Minions: The Rise of Gru. Streaming now only on Peacock.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on now to ESPNAVL.com to make your picks. Each weekly winner gets a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and will be a finalist for our grand prize. Log on now, ESPNAVL.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
You saying you want a piece of me?
You got it!
And a happy Fantivus to everyone. Yeah, we are ripping off Seinfeld once again.
That's fine. Seinfeld's the greatest show ever written.
Okay.
It's the greatest show ever written. It's not debatable. Greatest sitcom of all time.
And it is Fantivus, where we are in the midst of the airing of grievances here. Guys who you drafted pretty high in your fantasy football drafts that just have not been able to pay off for your team just yet. Let's talk about quarterbacks.
There are two. There are two that if you drafted them thinking, oh, I have a no-doubt starter, they have been bad. And their names are Russell Wilson and Thomas Edward Brady. And I fully believe one of them will be fine, and I could not sell harder on the other. I am so Seacrest out on Russell Wilson that it is pathetic. Pathetic how out on Russell Wilson I am. I hate how all of this is setting up for him. Oh, let Russ cook. It looks like Russ is cooking with oil and water.
39 fantasy points through the first 3 weeks of the season.
And take the fantasy side out of it. He's just been real life bad. I mean, he's 15th in the NFL in passing attempts. and he's done virtually nothing with them.
Mm-mm.
And it's not from lack of weapons. I like Cortland Sutton. I like Jerry Jeudy. I just hate the way this offense is run.
Mm-hmm.
He falls in love with somebody every week. So every single week he's going to have somebody that is fantasy relevant. Javonte Williams. I can't cough or I will literally fall out on the floor. And Tank might then in turn die. So I can't do the cough under my breath thing.
Would die laughing.
But it's also possible. you do have an immune system. So.
Yes, I do. But yeah, completing less than 60% of his passes so far this year. He's only thrown for 2 touchdowns. Has Russell Wilson. The rushing isn't there.
Nope. That's the other thing that's killing him. Is he's not running hardly at all.
Mm-hmm.
List of quarterbacks with more fantasy points than Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady. Mac Jones, Mitch Trubisky, Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, Jacoby Brissett, Joe Falco. Aaron Rodgers will be fine.
But there's only, among the guys that you just said, there's only one that you're tapping out on right now.
Russell.
I
didn't love Aaron Rodgers anyway.
Tom will come back. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to go for career highs again in yards. That's out the window.
No, he's a mid to back end quarterback too in fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
He should not be your starter.
Even when Godwin comes back?
Don't care. The way this offense is run, Leonard Fournette's third in the NFL in touches.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to stop. And I screamed that from the rooftops from the time you promoted Todd Bowles. That's how this is going to go. But Tom will just take the bull by the horns. No, he won't. Tell you a fun little story. One of the most angry seasons I've had as a Jets fan. Ryan Fitzpatrick was fantastic. Everything else the Jets had was terrible. You know what Todd Bowles still insisted on doing 40 times a game? Running.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work. Offensive line wasn't good. Didn't matter. Playoff team missed the playoffs because of Todd Bowles.
The only question I have about that is how can Leonard Fournette hold up?
It doesn't matter if he does or not. They'll do it with Rachaad White.
Really?
I'm telling you right now, that is how Todd Bowles works.
Okay.
But now that being said, having weapons will make it more likely that Tom gets in the end zone, which gets you more to where he actually belongs, which is in the mid-teens.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was sharing out the stat line from this past week in the Green Bay game with Tom Brady. What's wrong with Tom? He doesn't have any receivers. He doesn't have any rapport with any of these guys.
I actually think I saw a tweeter from Varsity Blues out there.
Right.
Preparing to do the new tweeter end zone dance.
And that was Cole Beasley.
You know what he calls it? The new tweeter end zone dance.
Yeah. That was Cole Beasley, though. I mean, every pass was just off the mark. He doesn't have any connection with the new guys in the offense. And even the guys that were there last year were just, I mean, every time you made a good play, you're dropping the ball. You're fumbling. It was just bad. And when the weapons come back, that will change. As Aaron Rodgers gets more comfortable with Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson gets, put into the fold here and Alan Lazard and all, it's going to be fine. Russell Wilson, I'm not so sure.
I'm not sure about Russell Wilson, and I'll tell you another one I'm not sure about. Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
I'm not sure he's one of the 12 best quarterbacks in the NFL, and I'm talking about pure talent. I'm not take the fantasy football of this out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure he's a top-end NFL quarterback, and you're seeing it. You're seeing this bear itself out every single week. It's Cooper Kupp or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He's not throwing as much as you would want him to, and he has absolutely zero rapport with Allen Robinson. You could tell me those two just met each other on a weekly basis. It would not surprise me in the least.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about him too.
You don't think as the season goes on he's going to get more comfortable and it's going to
No, I'll tell you what I think is going to happen the more and more the season goes on. Look at the Rams schedule. There are a lot of games that as long as they're wearing a blue and yellow uniform with a ram horn on the side of it, they're going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all Sean McVay cares about. He doesn't care about your style points. He does not care what you think about him. He has run more than you think he does for years. And now he feels like he has two running backs that are the same guy.
It is Fantivus here on ESPN Asheville inside the Sportsocracy. We are In the midst of the airing of grievances, the guys who've let you down in fantasy football so far this season, we've done quarterbacks, we've done running backs, we'll do the wide receivers coming up next, plus we'll talk some feats of strength as well. Plus, we'll get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pleasant fall weather for us again Thursday. Then we'll start to see some clouds and eventually some rain move in as we head through Friday and into our upcoming weekend. Fair to partly cloudy skies here tonight. Cool temperatures into the low 40s. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us tomorrow. Cool temperatures tomorrow afternoon, reaching highs in the middle to upper 60s. Cloudy Friday with a chance of late day showers, low 60s. Better rain chances into the weekend. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Patton Avenue north and southbound approaching New Leicester Highway. Heavy delays near Avery Creek. Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Bavard Road northbound slows approaching Clayton Road and continuing to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound near Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road delays. In Canton, US 23 southbound delays between Happy Hollow Road and Chestnut Mountain Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
When Big Mobile charges you an arm and a leg, they're taking your money and your power. And your arm and leg. Boost Mobile gives your power back with an unlimited plan for $25 a month on one of America's largest 5G networks. We can't give you back your arm and your leg because we're not qualified surgeons. Unless you're an iguana who can grow limbs back. Switch to Boost and get an unlimited plan for $25 a month. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. New customers only. One line, $25 per month with autopay. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Bianna's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
And we are back in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and it's time to get weird. Jeremy has a real problem with certain phobias. He's very scared of the birds.
Because they're not real.
Says the birds aren't real. They're drones. He doesn't like squirrels or any rodent of any kind.
Nope.
He doesn't like anything that flies.
Nope.
And he has a real problem with dolls.
Oh, dolls are the worst.
Dolls, see, there you go. Dolls and clowns, like those are his things. So And it only feels right with Halloween right around the corner here. By the way, you need all your Halloween supplies. Go see our good friend Robbie Wright and the rest of the gang down at the at Halloween Express at the Big Orange Tent in the Asheville Mall, and they will have
parking lot.
Yes, the Asheville Mall parking lot. I mean, you'll see it when you get there. It's
hard to miss the Big Orange Tent.
Exactly. Well, this girl. Her name is Briar, and her mom, Brittany, were in a similar type of a store last year when Briar, who's 3 years old, was 2 at the time, she found a new doll, and she fell in love with this doll, and now she will go nowhere without it. Jeremy, did you ever have a toy like that when you were a kid?
I had a bun. It was a bunny.
Oh, a bunny. Okay.
I had a little bunny.
It was like a bun, like you're carrying a hot dog bun around?
Well, that would make more sense because I love hot dogs and I have no real swayed movements towards rabbits.
All right, you had a bunny. Awesome. I don't know that I ever had an attachment to something that I had to carry around all the time with me, but kids do that.
A fork. No, sorry.
Right.
That was too easy. I'm better than that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you walked yourself into it. Look, I don't feel good. All right? There's no filter between me and the rude connotations today.
Well, the interesting thing about Briar's new doll is that it is a Halloween doll. It is a Halloween decoration. This thing looks like it came from the second level of hell.
Out.
Its face has like all these cracks in it and stuff.
Oh, no.
Its eyes glow red.
No.
And when you push its tummy, it does like a little cute little baby laugh and then just erupts into this like evil laughter.
Out. Seacrest out.
But she is so attached to it, and she'll go nowhere without it. The mom tells the story that she will push this thing around in a little carriage. And people will just like walk to the other side of the street.
I would be one of those.
When they see her coming with this thing. The story has been shared on social media about 14,000 times, so you may have seen this already. But Briar says, that's her doll. She named it Creepy Chloe, and she takes it everywhere she goes. She even got to go to the Haunted Mansion at Disney World. And they gave her the full, 5-star red carpet treatment with her and her wicked, weird, little creepy Chloe doll, where she got to take pictures with everybody that was there, did a whole photo shoot, and they were having a whole lot of fun with it. But the fact that she will go nowhere with this, Mom says it makes other children cry. As Briar is walking around with this thing.
I wouldn't have cried, but I would not have been friends with this child.
Would you allow it as the parent?
No.
Come on.
I can't be mortified by your doll like that. But then again, it would never happen because I would have never bought the doll.
Really?
Oh, no.
She said the story went, they were walking around and she saw the doll and the following words came out of her mouth. Mommy, she needs me. Now, when a 3-year-old tells you that the doll needs them, you gotta make that happen.
Man, you're softer than just marshmallow
You
fluff.
gotta step up and make that happen for your kid. You can't send him in.
I can't do it with Chucky's bride. I'm out.
I just can't do it.
I feel bad for airlines. I feel like I've told a lot of stories like the one I'm getting ready to tell.
Okay. This
was an American Airlines flight between Los Angeles and Dallas, and this was documented by a Twitter account named @ActuallyEmerson. Halfway through the flight, somebody hijacked the overcom system. So the PA announcement that the pilot and the stewardess crew uses to purvey important information to the passengers of the plane. Well, halfway through the flight, somebody hijacked it. There's only 2 places that you can access this. One is in the cockpit. One is in the back of the plane with the flight crew.
Like the stewardess lounge.
Correct.
Right.
Neither one of those is where it came from. The noise that apparently went on for an extended period of time, estimated between 45 minutes and an hour. It was a series of grunts.
What?
It was described as somewhere between vomiting and the noise you make in happier times. Somewhere in the middle of that.
Okay.
Well, about 20 minutes after it started, the pilot had to come on and say, we know that noise is really annoying. We don't know where it's coming from, and we can't get it to stop. Maybe this is coming from somebody that's flown 1,000 times in my life. If somebody hijacks the intercom, I'm out. Give me a parachute. I'll jump out that door right now. I'm good. I have seen too many horror movies. I am no.
And next thing you know, from the seat in front of you, up creeps creepy Chloe.
Yeah, out. Nope. That's where my brain was going.
Right.
That doll from your story has hijacked the intercom in my story.
Doll. Wow.
Stop doing weird things on planes,
but
okay?
They never figured it out? They never figured out where it was coming from?
Nope. Gone through the entire electrical system of the plane. Nothing has been tinkered with. There is nothing that lends itself to somebody could have hijacked the intercom system. But somebody did.
Wow.
And that bothers me a lot.
Yeah, I would have a lot of questions. A lot of questions. It is Fantivus Wednesday here on ESPN Asheville. Of course, stealing it from the Seinfeld episodes of Festivus. Fantivus, fantasy football, airing of grievances, wide receivers. Who is the most disappointing wide receiver through the beginning of the season, Jeremy Greene?
For me or for the masses? Because the one that you're going to hear the most is going to be Devontae Adams. Or at least that would be my thought.
Okay.
He's still 11, but he was drafted at 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you listen to us, you got Amon St. Brown, who's sitting at 3. And you're welcome for that. Mm-hmm. Or Christian Kirk, who's sitting at 6. 2 guys we said, just a mess of times. There's nobody that I'm really all that worried about except CeeDee Lamb.
Why?
I mean, you're sitting at 23 overall.
Mm-hmm.
He's 2 spots ahead of Noah Brown on the same team. Mm-hmm. You remember that thing I said about expecting a receiver to go from a 2 to a 1, start seeing 1 coverage and get better is a fool's errand, and I don't care who your quarterback is? I personally would be trying to move CeeDee Lamb for anything I could get. I mean, I'm not going to do it for Justin Tucker, but if I could get appropriate value, I'm good. I'm good.
You don't like when Dak Prescott comes back, you don't think it's going to get better?
Not really, no. I mean, I don't think there's that huge of a difference between Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott.
Okay.
I don't. You don't run well. The line's not good. I don't care what the analytics say. I don't care what people say. Play a decent defense because the Buccaneers embarrassed you.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals and the Giants, well, they didn't. Okay. That's fine.
Right.
Not overly worried about it.
Okay. CeeDee Lamb is the guy that you're tapping out on.
I tell you, no, Deebo Samuel, who I have been just drunk on, the touches are not going his way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's weird considering you don't have any running backs. I almost feel like he's convinced Kyle Shanahan to stop using him that way. And now he's just a standard, regular wide receiver.
I mean, that was my original take when the story came out that Deebo didn't want to be used that way anymore, and he still wanted to be paid. Sorry, bro. I mean, this is what you do. This is what makes you worth that kind of money.
I mean,
maybe he did.
He's 31 overall among receivers, and I still feel fine about San Francisco. It's more on the defense and the fact that you have a veteran quarterback. I don't know that anybody in that offense is going to be fantasy relevant. I don't know that offense is going to be fantasy relevant. That may be the team in the NFL that is the best because of the defense.
Mm-hmm. But are they? I mean, would you say that the weapons for San Francisco are solely touchdown dependent now?
I wouldn't necessarily go that far. I don't think the offense is very good. And now I believe fully in Kyle Shanahan. As long as that's the one pulling the puppet strings, I think okay. It's because you could see Deebo Samuel go back to the guy we expected him to be against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know how they would deal with that. It's just unsettling to me that you've allowed yourself to lose twice, and he's been not necessarily a non-factor. He just hadn't been very good.
So those are the only two that you're focusing on right now?
I'm also dumbfounded at how good Mike Williams was in one game and has been completely irrelevant in the other two. Yeah. Oh, wait, you mean that thing that he does constantly?
Yeah. He's always been boom or bust guy.
Mike Williams is the Sasquatch of the NFL. Somebody spots him and they go, "Ooh, look over there," and he's gone.
Right. But he's also seeing double coverage because there's no Keenan Allen. And so maybe that all changes.
Well, the funny thing is the one game he was good in, Keenan Allen didn't play.
Well, that's true.
His best game was without Keenan Allen. And in the last one, it was Joshua Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
And, yes, I know that was some garbage time. Got some tweets about that. Well aware. Don't care. All right? I don't care where they came from. I can make stats, say whatever I want to. And I'm fine with that.
Okay. All right. Deebo Samuel currently the 31st ranked wide receiver in PPR leagues.
And every Carolina Panther. If you receive passes for the Panthers until Baker Mayfield is no longer your quarterback, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who it was. It was one of the fantasy analysts that said, "Hey, you want me to explain what's wrong with DJ Moore in one video?" And it was DJ Moore coming across the middle, absolutely wide open, and Baker Mayfield airmailed one about 8 feet over his head.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That would be why I told you all offseason, avoid Carolina Panthers.
Yep. And until Sam Darnold comes back and takes over the starting position, you'll see a little bit of improvement there, but I can't tell you that it's going to get much better.
I don't mean to go off on a tangent here, but I actually do think it's going to get much better. I think it's going to get much better, and I'm going to be proven to be the most right person in all of media. I tried to tell you Sam Darnold is better than him, and I got made fun of. If I had $1 for every person that has randomly come up to me, sent me a tweet, sent me a message on Facebook or whatever social media, and said, "You're such a Sam Darnold homer, you don't get it. Baker Mayfield's so good." Okay. 3 weeks in, are you sitting there with your tearaway calendar going days until Sam Darnold returns? I tried to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Stats don't care about your feelings. And that's never been close. Ever, 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 ever. And I'm not telling you Sam's great. He's better than that. And it's not really all that close to me.
Right.
I don't think Baker Mayfield belongs in this league. And I've been accused of that being a vendetta, like Baker peed in my punch bowl or something, or pushed me down on the playground. I could frankly I could care less about Baker. I'm just so tired of talking about this mediocre quarterback who's had more lives than any cat on the planet Earth and never shown any reason to have them.
Mm-hmm. One disappointment for me in fantasy football this year that I invested heavily in, that I believed was going to be like a sneaky little value, was Hunter Renfrow. Now, I get that second game of the season, it went much better than first game of the season. And he didn't play last week because he's hurt. Are you concerned at all by the Las Vegas Raiders and that offense? You said Devontae Adams has been a disappointment to fantasy owners.
Well, I mean, because he's the best receiver in the league, and he's not played that way.
Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller hasn't been seeing the target share either.
I thought Hunter Renfrow was the one that was bulletproof. He fit that Josh McDaniels offense so well. And I go back to what I said yesterday. I feel like Josh is trying to prove that he doesn't have to do it the Tom, Bill, dink and dunk to the little slot receiver to the point of his own team's detriment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I think that changes? It either changes or he's going to be out of a job within a year. So I'm not rushing out to go get Hunter Renfrow, but if I was invested, I wouldn't necessarily be tapping out yet.
Okay. Justin Jefferson is another one. 9 of 11 in the first game of the year, 184 yards, had 2 touchdowns.
His mental makeup has always bothered me.
Now he has not seen the end zone in 2 weeks. Obviously, there was the Monday night fiasco that is Kirk Cousins in Week 2. Last week, he only got 6 targets against the Detroit Lions.
He's too easy to take out of. Now, if he gets on a roll and things start his way, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. But if you get him out of his headspace, he can go off the rails quick.
Mm-hmm. And you feel like this is going to be a temporary thing?
I do. I mean, he's going to be one of those players that 15 games out of the year, he's phenomenal. And then in the other 2, he gets a little pouty on the sideline. Things aren't going his way, and those weeks are going to be brutal. He's still Justin Jefferson, so I'm not overly worried about it.
Right. He has done this. He did this last year. There were a couple of games last year where he only had 3 or 4 catches, had 40-something, 50-something yards, no touchdowns. But then he has those monster games that you go, it's just too good. Just too good. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Happy Fantivus.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue, 26 westbound delays between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Patton Avenue north and southbound approaching New Leicester Highway. Heavy delays and accident here. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road. Slowing near Avery Creek. Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road. Slow. Again, Brevard Road northbound stop and go approaching Clayton Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Near Canton, US 23 southbound slow between Happy Hollow Road and Chestnut Mountain Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and all-time leading rusher with exciting news.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, Emmitt Smith wants to introduce you to QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in biologic treatment for pain. I'm talking regenerative solutions that encourage your body to heal and repair itself. No medications, no surgeries, no downtime.
If you have pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders, don't assume the old treatments are the only treatments. Learn more about how you can get lasting relief with biologic treatments that can repair and restore damaged tissue.
Call to learn more about this exciting natural way to deal with chronic joint pain. Play golf without pain, walk upstairs without pain, play with your kids and grandkids without pain. Get back on your job without pain. Live your life pain-free. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Hey, Taco Bell fans. Double-decker taco or enchilada? Which one would you want back on the menu? From September 28th to October 5th, vote once daily for your choice in the Taco Bell app. The winner will return to participating stores for 2 weeks while supplies last. No purchase necessary.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
You saying you want a piece of me?
You got it!
I marry Fantivus. I'm going to get it eventually.
Can't do that.
I can't
you can do a lot of things. You can't do that.
Fantivus. As we talk about fantasy football, the airing of grievances. We talk about the disappointments in fantasy football. But now, how about some feats of strength to close out the hour? You have your leaders in the clubhouse right now. In fantasy football for 2022, Lamar Jackson, far and away the number one fantasy quarterback.
He a dog
on the season.
And that's going to keep happening.
He is averaging just under 35 points a game, which is hard to do.
He's good at the footballs. Maybe Baltimore should pay him. I was just a thought.
Oh, 100%. This is a revenge tour. You are going to pay me, and I'm going to show you what I'm worth. Saquon Barkley. PPR scoring is your number one running back. If you're in a standard league, don't do that. You should always place PPR leagues. But in standard scoring, Nick Chubb is number one.
I feel like every running back in the top six is just screaming, hey, why am I underappreciated every single year? Except DeAndre Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Cordero Patterson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, James Robinson, Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley. Every single one of them undervalued.
Mm-hmm.
Every year.
Well, I mean, there was a reason for Cordero Patterson.
And what was it? Please tell me that reason. I argued this for 5 solid months. What is that reason?
It was the age.
Who cares?
They were concerned that
he's 30 years old.
He's 30 years old, and
he has the tread on the tires of a 24-year-old because he was a wide receiver for the first 6 years of his career.
I understand that.
And who was the running back that was going to take touches away from him?
Tyler
Algier.
Yeah.
How many snaps has he played? 12?
Probably.
Yeah, that worked out nicely.
Probably close to it. People thought James Robinson was going to get supplanted by Travis Etienne, and that hasn't happened. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I mean, everybody just listens to you and believes that he's not good at football.
He's not good at football. He's good at fantasy football because he scores touchdowns at a stupid rate.
Mm-hmm. Number one wide receiver in fantasy football is Stephon Diggs.
Of course he is.
With Cooper Kupp.
Because he is really, really, really good.
With Cooper Kupp nipping at his heels, and the number one tight end, Mark Andrews.
I mean, I would say I didn't see that coming, except I said it like 43,000 times.
Absolutely.
When there's not a receiver on the team, it's kind of easy to figure out who they're going to lean on.
Do you have your leaderboard pulled up over there?
I do.
Oh, I was going to ask you the question. I was going to say, so you got Mark Andrews at 1.
Oh, I don't have tight ends pulled up.
Oh, okay. You got Mark Andrews at 1, Travis Kelce's at 2. Can you name number 3?
My guy, Tyler Conklin. Let's go.
Oh, Tyler Conklin is the number 3 tight end in fantasy football, scoring 12.7 points per week in a PPR scoring system. That's impressive.
He is getting ridiculous amounts of his snap count is stupidly high.
And will that continue now that Zach Wilson comes back?
No, with Zach Wilson coming back, the one you want to lean on is Elijah Moore. I'm hoping it doesn't affect Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good that I'm not sure that it will. But it makes me like Corey Davis a little more. He always had a pretty good rapport with Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Moore. Just trust me when I say this. May not be this week, may not be next week. It's coming.
It's coming. All right. Good to know. What else is coming? The Daily Draft. After the Sports Center update here at the top of the hour, we will get into the Daily Draft, and Jeremy and I will be drafting MVP candidates in the NFL.
I have a feeling you know what our first 4 are going to sound like. It's after that. There's some weird names up there.
After that, it could get interesting. We will be doing that in just a few moments. Don't forget you can get in on this week's Battle for the Belt DFS contest. We do this each and every week. We will have the link to
it's in the description of the YouTube
video.
now.
Okay, all right. It's already up. It's already live. Flostradamus is on his game this week. He's got the links to the...
Well, he's having to because I have sinus pressure that's currently pushing against my brain, and it's making me think about everything I do before I do it.
Links to the entry are in the description of the YouTube video. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, subscribe to the channel while you're there so you get all those alerts. Get in on the Battle for the Belt DFS competition with us each and every week. somebody punches their ticket into the finals.
Ronnie George this week, joining Brett Ponder and Michael Bailey as our first 3 finalists.
Yes, and who's shocked that Tank has not finished higher than 18th in any of these?
Jeremy was 5th this week.
Were you?
Looks like I might be just figuring it out.
Good
3
for
weeks
you.
into the season.
Good for you. We will have your fantasy game time decisions Sunday morning at 10 a.m. SportsCenter updates next, and then daily draft time.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pleasant fall weather for us again Thursday. Then we'll start to see some clouds and eventually some rain move in as we head through Friday and into our upcoming weekend. Fair to partly cloudy skies here tonight. Cool temperatures into low 40s. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us tomorrow. Cool temperatures tomorrow afternoon, reaching highs in the middle to upper 60s. Cloudy Friday with a chance of late day showers, low 60s. Better rain chances into the weekend. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue, 26 westbound delays between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Patton Avenue north and southbound approaching New Leicester Highway, heavy delays and accident here. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, slowing. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road, slow. Again, Bavard Road northbound stop and go approaching Clayton Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Near Canton, US 23 southbound slow between Happy Hollow Road and Chestnut Mountain Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Hey, Taco Bell fans, double-decker taco or enchilada? Which one would you want back on the menu? From September 28th to October 5th, vote once daily for your choice in the Taco Bell app. The winner will return to participating stores for 2 weeks while supplies last. No purchase necessary.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can of kick-ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Another big injury blow for the Chargers. Pass rusher Joey Bosa will undergo surgery for a groin injury. He's on IR with a designation to return out at least 4 weeks. Bosa is expected to be back later this season. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa with back and ankle injuries, and receiver Jalen Waddle with a groin injury, questionable tomorrow against the Bengals. The Bills adding some much-needed depth at cornerback, signing veteran Xavier Rhodes. Buffalo's secondary pretty banged up, presenting a huge challenge for a team with Super Bowl aspirations, notes Canty and Carlin co-host Chris Canty.
The Buffalo Bills championship hopes have taken a bit of a hit because of some of these injuries. I mean, the secondary was one of the areas of the team that you thought was a strength. Yep. And now it feels like it's a bit of a weakness, Carlin, especially with those two young safeties, Damar Hamlin and Jaquan Johnson. They weren't up for the task on this past week against the Miami Dolphins.
Chris Canty on Greene. As of now, the Buccaneers are still scheduled to host the Chiefs on Sunday night. If the game needs to be moved due to Hurricane Ian, it will be relocated to Minneapolis. The NFL is continuing to monitor the situation.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
We are the Sportsocracy, and we are heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. And, of course, you can hear us terrestrially, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Take us everywhere you go, though, with the iHeart Radio app. It doesn't matter how far the stick will reach, as we say in the radio biz. You can get us everywhere, live or on demand. Absolutely free on the iHeart Radio app. You can also see us on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat, And don't forget to get that link in the description of the video for the DFS contest this week. The battle for the belt rolls on. We already have 3 finalists into the finals of the battle for the belt. We will have the custom championship-made belt with the Sportsocracy logo, ESPN, Asheville, EXP Realty, Ingles Supermarkets, and, of course, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, all represented on the belt, along with 2 Tom Bradys.
Stop that.
You designed it.
I did design it. It had nothing to do with Tom Brady.
You're the one that put the goats on there. They can only mean one thing. Because we're not talking basketball. They don't stand for LeBron James. At ESPN, at Sports Tank ESPN.
Let's say, don't give out my Twitter handle for the dumb things you say. I get enough as it is. The gravy on your taters, you get to deal with.
Winner takes home the championship custom-made belt. Also, the $1,000+ prize pack that we have put together with the help of our wonderful sponsors. Link in the description of the video. You can also find it on all of our social medias week to week. Third hour of the program always kicks off with the daily draft. Today, I have first pick, and we're drafting MVP candidates in the NFL. We've talked about this, I think 2 days in a row. In some shape, form, or fashion.
In passing.
We've talked about some MVP-type stuff, so it just made sense for us to draft MVP candidates today. Number 1, not close, in my book, Lamar Jackson. He is number 1 in the MVP race. I will be shocked if he doesn't remain there. Obviously, injuries can come into play, but I don't see this offense slowing down at any point, especially if the defense is going to continue to give up so many points. Obviously, they won't be hurt all year long, but you're going to be in a lot of shootout games, and Lamar Jackson can just do things that nobody else is doing right now.
That is what bothers me about this team. Is my fear is that the record may preclude them. Because look, Lamar's been phenomenal. I think he will continue to be phenomenal. I'm not as dead sold they win this division. The injuries have mounted up already. The back half of the defense has been bad. Now, I'm not saying I'm necessarily projecting that. I still would, if I had to pick a team to win the AFC North, it would be Baltimore, narrowly. But I will be honest, if I had first pick, Lamar would not have been mine.
Really?
Nope. He would not have been mine. And according to Bet Us, right now, he is not the favorite. The favorite is who I am going to take with my first pick. My guy. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Old Josh Allen, the only passer in the NFL over 1,000 yards through the first 3 weeks of the season.
There is I will say, a better than zero chance that Josh Allen's going to throw for over 4,000 yards, over 30 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards rushing, and be the leading rusher of the Buffalo Bills. He may account for 50 touchdowns before this is all said and done. This is his year. Don't let the Miami game influence you. They dominated the vast majority of it. They just couldn't score. And so for me, nothing's changed. Actively, betus.com, use promo code SPORTSOCRACY to get a 125% deposit match, which means they'll give you 125% of whatever you put in free play tokens so you can gamble alongside us all year long. Josh Allen's plus 285 to win the MVP. Lamar's 2 at plus 450. And that's about where I think it should be.
Right now, the yards are not even close. The yardage is not even close as far as passing goes between Lamar and Josh Allen.
And it's not going to be.
But the stats are comparable from there. I mean, Lamar's got an edge in passing touchdowns with 10. Josh has 9. They both have thrown 2 interceptions so far this year. I think it's the rushing that sets Lamar apart.
It does.
Because he's averaging 9 yards a carry.
And I can't tell you that that's not going to continue to happen. He's picking his spots quite well right now. But I'll be 100% level with you. And No Smiles in our YouTube comments said this very same thing. I wouldn't have taken Lamar too.
Really?
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts. Because if the Eagles go on as the 1 seed in the NFC, nothing matters as to what they do in the playoffs. If Philadelphia goes in as the 1, and they are the team to beat with home field and the bye in the NFC, Jalen Hurts is going to win the MVP. Because you can't give it to anybody else. It's not going to be a receiver. People aren't going to deep dive and realize A.J. Brown is the reason this is happening. That's what's different in Philadelphia's offense. Plus, loosely the way it's called.
Is A.J. Brown.
That's the perfect receiver to pair with Jalen Hurts. And it has made him an astronomically better player.
He's doing things that he's just never done before. He hasn't been this good at throwing the football. And is it because now he has another option? Now because it's not just Devontae Smith and a bunch of dudes? Yeah, probably so. Probably so. But I also feel like the running game, it's just all clicking right now. And what was the stat I saw the other day? Through 3 games, no one else in NFL history has averaged 300 yards passing a game and over 50 yards rushing a game like Jalen Hurts is doing right now.
And I mean, I'm going to be real honest. Well, we will obviously be doing mock drafts throughout the course of the NFL and college football season. And I got a text this morning, and apparently there's a cover story on ESPN of looky who NFL scouts are starting to love. It's Will Levis. Think about that. We just took the 3 most likely players to win the MVP. Are any of them drop back passers?
No.
Nope. No, they're not. They're all Lamar's the only one that's even slight. And Jalen Hurts nor Josh Allen were thought to be elite passers of the football coming into the NFL. What do? They manipulate defenses with their eyes really well and punish you if you let them get out of the pocket. That's why Will Levis is becoming very popular around people that I talk to.
Okay.
When I put out my first mock draft, people lost their mind at Will Levis. I think it was at 5. He ain't going to be there at 5.
He
hate to break your heart.
1. He could be.
I'm not dead set on that yet. There is a stigma with Alabama quarterbacks and Ohio State quarterbacks that is prevalent around NFL circles of we don't quite know how I feel about that.
Right.
And they're both slight guys. Will Levis is not.
Right. Who's the best Alabama quarterback ever in the NFL?
Joe Namath.
Yeah, not even
Joe
close.
Willie Namath.
Not even close, and he's probably the most overrated superstar of all time. So
I've already told you I don't feel well, so making me want to fight you is a very bad call.
He's the only one, though. Can you name Ohio State quarterback that was good at the NFL level?
Not really, no.
No, you can't. So,
and Justin Fields is not changing that anytime soon.
Right. I get it. But what they do on the field this season and for the rest of the season, I don't know that that's going to maintain. Like maybe from what you've seen through the first 4 weeks of college football, Will Levis is number 1. But at some point, Bryce and CJ are going to start putting up those eye-popping numbers. And I know that's NFL scouts don't care about that.
Oh, no, they could care less.
No,
I mean, look,
right.
You want to talk about the Heisman? Yeah, those 2 are the front runners.
Yes.
In terms of NFL scouts, they have questions about both. And you just look at our first 3 picks are all 3 dual-option quarterbacks. The day of the Tom Brady that just sits back there and throws darts is going the way of the dodo bird.
You got to be able to do more as these teams get faster and these edge rushers get faster and you got more linebackers and, it's harder for offensive lines to keep these unbelievable athletes on the defensive side of the ball away from quarterbacks. You got to have a guy that can move. That's the way the NFL's going.
Well, I mean, we're 3 years away from if you don't have an element of pre-snap motion and an element of RPO in your offense, you are going to be bad. So you either adjust or get left behind. It's totally up to you.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and it's my turn to make a pick. So here before the break, I'm gonna go with Pat Mahomes. Everybody kind of jumped off a bridge with Patrick Mahomes. Oh, there's no Tyreek Hill anymore. This is not gonna be the same offense. It's not gonna be the same spectacular offense that we've seen over the last few years. Well, it ain't bad.
No.
It ain't bad, and Patrick Mahomes is still out here doing magical things.
There's a lot of sharp money on Pat Mahomes right now.
And I feel like he's getting undersold. He is,
according to BetUs, he is the third most likely to win the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with Pat Mahomes, the reason I didn't take him, is I feel like he needs one of the two I took to piddle in their pants to have a shot.
Yes.
All Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts have to do to end up 1-2 in this is keep doing what they're already doing.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's going to be hard to do. But maybe not. Maybe I'm doing that thing where I'm underselling them again. But Patrick Mahomes will the cream will eventually rise to the top. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. The Daily Draft MVP candidates comes up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue, 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Patton Avenue, north and southbound near New Leicester Highway, traffic is slowing. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, delays. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Pond Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road, slow. Again, Bavard Road northbound slows approaching Clayton Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the biggest garage on the block, but with eBay Motors, there's 122 million parts right at your fingertips. Whatever you need, there's something that fits your vehicle. Air filters, tires, seat covers, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100%, feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on now to ESPNAVL.com to make your picks. Each weekly winner gets a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and will be a finalist for a grand prize. Log on now, ESPNAVL.com.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Roots and wings. The two greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Welcome back into the Daily Draft here on ESPN Asheville. And so far, in drafting 2022 early MVP candidates, I've got Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. Jeremy has gone Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. We do this fantasy football style. I went first. And now I get the first pick here in the third round of the Daily Draft. This may sound weird, and it may be way too early, but through the first 3 weeks of the season, one of my outside shots to win the MVP is Trevor Lawrence.
I hate that you just did that.
Were you going to do that?
I was absolutely going to do that.
Because as you said, Jeremy, so if Jalen Hurts ends up as the Philadelphia Eagles end up as the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs, they're the favorite. They got home field advantage. He's going to win the MVP. I'm not saying you're wrong. He'll get a lot of votes.
Oh, I'm not wrong. They end up as the one. He's going to win this.
If the Jacksonville Jaguars if they win their division, which is a distinct possibility after what we've seen so far from the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts, if they win their division, and obviously they're going to be a top 4 seed after, this is the Cincinnati turnaround.
They could be the Cincinnati of this year.
Right. We said in the offseason there's no chance anybody's going to be able to do a one-year turnaround like that. Well, here's the Jacksonville Jaguars announcing their presence with authority. And Trevor Lawrence is completing 70% of his passes. He's only thrown 1 interception so far this year after a year last year where he threw 12 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. Also, he fumbled the ball 9 times last year. If you can keep the turnovers down and you can turn Christian Kirk into a legitimate 1 in this league under Doug Peterson, I think you're right there in the hunt. And right now he's plus 3,300 at books.
He's the best value on the board, and I can tell you that there's sharp money coming in on him aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
It will not stay that way for long. I could see him – I don't know that he'll ever get into single digits. I don't know that he'll ever be below plus 1,000 unless something just otherworldly happens.
Mm-hmm.
But at plus 3,300, I've seen me set money on fire for much dumber.
Right.
Jets plus 7 the first time. Not the last time.
The first time.
The first time.
When I said it.
Yes.
Okay.
Or last week when I also said it.
Mm-hmm.
But I took it back. All right, it's mine. That was us against the Browns. Last week was 6.5. All right, I'm dead set that the top 4 are the top 4, and now we're throwing darts.
Yeah.
I said for one of those guys to not win the MVP, something weird has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe this is going to happen, but if it did, this is the only way Josh Allen is not my without a doubt favorite. If they don't win that division. And if they don't win that division, and we were all on this side where the Bills were the team to beat, it's Tua Tagovailoa.
Mm-hmm.
The receivers are going to split the vote. Neither one of them is going to do anything dynamic enough to win this. If the Dolphins win that division, again, I don't think it's going to happen. But if they did, that's where it would go. He's plus 1,400 right now,
yep.
Which tells me there's somebody somewhere that really buys this Miami thing.
Yeah. They currently sit in first place in that division, undefeated. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Miami Dolphins.
That's the 2 undefeated teams.
Ugh. Philadelphia, I'm not shocked at. When we did our prognostications, we said that they could end up 9-0.
I don't know how they're going to lose a game.
Right.
Because that schedule is pathetic.
Right. We said they could win their first 9 games of the season. Didn't think Miami had a chance of getting past Buffalo in in their Week 3 matchup. I don't know. We will see. We shall see. It'd be very funny to see Tua go from you saying, "Oh, he's not an NFL quarterback," to, "Hey, MVP." Oh, it reminds me of Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts.
Hey, I admitted to Jalen Hurts, look, you build an offense around these guys, that's exactly what happened.
It can work. Absolutely.
It has changed the way I scout. Those two that you just said, Lamar and Jalen Hurts, have changed the way I look at quarterbacks. Now I have to throw a real dart.
Mm-hmm.
And I said something weird would have to happen. If this team goes in as the NFC 1, I could see a path that the numbers are so ridiculous with nobody to lean on. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
With no one to lean on. This is without Devontae. He goes out and throws 4,500 yards. Going to be hard to pick anybody else.
Right.
But nobody's ever gone back-to-back. I'm well aware. I don't care. Not many had gone back-to-back.
Mm-hmm. Jim Brown, didn't he go 3 in a row?
That was before the merger.
I'm
don't
just asking the question.
That's like saying, well, the Browns actually have 16 Super Bowls and the Lions have 14. No, that happened when we played with leather helmets. I don't care.
Right.
1970, 1969, the year the Jets won the Super Bowl. That's the year that the NFL started.
Aaron Rodgers is your 4th choice for MVP, and he is, let's see, according to Vegas Insider right now, he's plus 1,800 to win a 3rd straight NFL MVP. Which brings it back around to me, and now I'm out. And I'm out of quarterbacks now. I mean, I just look at the I look at all the guys in the league and go, I don't really see much of a path for you to win the MVP. But if any of them did, I think it would be Joe Burrow. I mean, after the turnaround that they had last year, he has been able to do amazing things despite the fact that he's getting knocked around over and over and over again. And should he bounce back from being on track to, 111 sacks this year that he could possibly take with being sacked 13 times in the first 3 weeks, he turns that around and starts leading in some statistical categories. I know it doesn't look good right now, but let's just say in 6 or 7 weeks, he's thrown maybe 1 or 2 more interceptions, and he adds on a whole bunch of yards and a whole bunch of touchdowns to that. I'm not going to be shocked to see Joe Burrow climb up those power rankings.
I won't be shocked to see it either, to be really honest with you. Especially now that the narrative is how bad this line is and how bad it started, he would get all the credit.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. And I could easily see that starting tomorrow night in a whiteout against the Miami Dolphins.
It very well could happen. My final choice for today's daily draft and MVP candidates in the NFL through 3 weeks of the season, it's not going to happen because I feel like it always goes to a quarterback. But if I had to choose one non-quarterback player, I think it's Stephon Diggs.
He'd have to break Calvin Johnson's record to me.
Well, after what Cooper Kupp did last year and he didn't get it, you would say so.
Yeah.
You would say that's what it's going to take for a wide receiver to have to win.
And he may have to set the touchdown record at the same time. I just think if unless Stephon Diggs does something that nobody's ever done before, it'll go to Josh Allen.
Yes, I agree.
Now, I'm going to follow your lead. I'm going to take a non-quarterback as well, but it's not a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. It's a defensive player.
It is a defensive player.
I know exactly who.
And his name is Micah Parsons.
Yes.
If the Dallas Cowboys were to somehow mysteriously win that division, which would take an act of God, but with Dak Prescott missing 3 games, it's obviously not going to any of the running backs, not going to CeeDee Lamb. It would be Micah Parsons, and he would have to break the sack record to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Of which, at the rate he's going, that's not as unheard of as it sounds.
How many does he have?
Total sacks, that I don't know off the top of my head. but I can tell you his pass rush win rate is 10% higher than anybody in the NFL.
That is insanity. He is just a very special player.
He has 4. He's tied with Nick Bosa, Khalil Mack, Jerry Hughes, and Dietrich Wise.
Wise?
Can you name who's leading the NFL in sacks right now? If you can, you're legitimately a witch, or you're looking at it over there.
Is it Highsmith?
It is Alex Highsmith.
Yeah.
That is the craziest thing.
Well, I mean, hell, he picked up 3 in the first week.
Yeah, that was with T.J. Watt on the other side.
Right.
He is 1 full season away from full on just going, I am Bud Dupree's little brother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to end up with a bajillion dollars because of T.J. Watt.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he'll get him a nice watch or something to thank him.
Oh, absolutely.
for taking all of the attention.
Send him a nice box of Omaha steaks.
Right, exactly. All right, so not bad. Our MVP candidates, here are the classes. For me, it's Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, and Stephon Diggs. Jeremy goes Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, Aaron Rodgers, and Micah Parsons. Have we ever had a defensive player win the MVP?
Not to my knowledge.
I don't think we have.
Unless you want to go back to that Jim Brown thing again. That era is what I'm talking about.
I was like,
because there I don't know.
Like, he didn't play defense. I don't know if you know this or not.
Which one of us is sick here, me or you?
You said it.
Yeah, and I felt like it was pretty self-explanatory, but.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The most important message of the day comes up next. Plus, something very interesting that could shake up sports broadcasting in the future.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pleasant fall weather for us again Thursday. Then we'll start to see some clouds and eventually some rain move in as we head through Friday and into our upcoming weekend. Fair to partly cloudy skies here tonight. Cool temperatures into low 40s. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us tomorrow. Cool temperatures tomorrow afternoon, reaching highs in the middle to upper 60s. Cloudy Friday with a chance of late day showers, low 60s. Better rain chances into the weekend. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Traffic is very busy. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Future 26 eastbound slow between Riverside Drive and 240. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road slow. Again, Bavard Road northbound stop and go approaching Clayton Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road north and southbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Warehouse of Asheville. At Mattress Warehouse, it's the last chance to get savings and solutions for your sleep needs. Save 50% plus get free no-hassle delivery and setup. With mattresses starting at just $99 and 0% interest financing, you'll never overpay. Visit Mattress Warehouse.
Hi, I'm Capri, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is the chicken. They actually put it on the grill, cooked it in the sauce. It's definitely a good grilled spicy sandwich.
Hey, I'm Michelle, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is it's spicy and it's full of flavor. When you pair that with the Kale Crunch Salad, it's just good.
Order a grilled spicy deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on now to ESPNAVL.com to make your picks. Each weekly winner gets a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and will be a finalist for our grand prize. Log on now, ESPNAVL.com.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle, and the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought, but the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. The Sportsocracy back here in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. Time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes. You have to turn on the microphone.
I was about to say, hard for me to pay off the second side of that if you don't turn my microphone on.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, well, I was, wasn't sure if you were going to chime in there because you're just not feeling up to it today.
Oh, no. I'm going to go lay in a bath of Epsom salts and just maybe scald my sinuses out of my brain.
That's a great idea. Some Vicks Vapo Rub. You need to.
How is the person that's most allergic to everything that happens outside live in the place that has the most things that bloom outside?
Yeah, I don't know.
First time it turns cold, as soon as everything blooms, I am in pure unabashed hell every single year. Rant over. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
All right, it's time to talk about the crimes of the day. Don't do crimes. It's never a good thing. Jeremy, you told a terrifying story in the weird news about being on an airplane where something happened where the intercom system got hijacked and there was just weird noises coming off for, what was it, an hour?
Yep.
That's creepy. It's very creepy. An American Airlines jetliner traveling cross-country on Tuesday was forced to land in El Paso, Texas, when a woman passenger, just lost all composure. No one really knows what happened or what triggered this episode, but at one point, there was a commotion on the flight coming from the back of the airplane, and the stewardesses were alerted to this woman being very fidgety and just having some kind of an episode, and they went back to check on her and see if she was all right. They said, "Are you okay?" And she immediately said no, and then she said something that you never want to hear on an airplane. She stood up and apparently screamed out to everyone, "We're all about to die!" And then she started screaming, "Repent! Repent!" And that's just not, you can't do that. You can't, you're 30,000 feet in the air in a cylindrical tube. You don't ever cause problems like that on an airplane.
Nothing anybody does surprises me anymore.
She continued to go on from her repent statement to say redemption is coming over and over and over again until finally they were able to restrain her in her seat. An off-duty police officer was on the flight and was able to sit with her while they emergency landed. One of the passengers on the airplane said, "We must have been flying directly over El Paso at the time, because it was almost like the plane went straight down as soon as it happened." Like, they get her calmed down, and they were like, "We got to make an emergency landing," and just, boom, we were down on the ground in like 5 minutes from there. These are crimes, people. You can't be unruly on airplanes. The FAA says as of September the 20th of this year, there had been 1,973 reports of unruly passengers on American flights. Not American Airlines, but on all U.S. flights. Initiated 680 investigations and 468 enforcement actions. 80 cases have been referred to the FBI. Now, here's the good news. The good news is those numbers have dropped since 2021. So there were more than that last year. However, a new zero-tolerance policy from the FAA against any type of disruptive behavior on airplanes has now led to a record $2 million in fines being levied against people who are causing problems on airplanes. Last year's incidents totaled just over $1 million. So at least there's progress there. A little bit more deterrent for this type of thing.
My story is about Darren Pirtle. He is a 57-year-old man that lived in Chico, California.
Okay.
He was charged Monday in Butte County Superior Court with identity theft and forgery. That's not why I'm telling the story. What he was what he is accused of is forging checks to himself from the credit union account of one Mr. Kevin Olson. He's 64 years old, and he was the roommate of the alleged perpetrator. Here's the problem. Nobody's seen Mr. Olson since October of 2018. There's two parts of the story. I will never understand how these two things happen. Relatives had apparently called for 4 years trying to talk to Mr. Olson.
Okay.
Never spoken to him. Mr. Pirtle said that, he's out. He's whatever the case may be, they pushed it off.
For 4 years?
For 4 years. Eventually, finally, somebody called authorities and started a missing persons investigation. That was in August. It took 6 full weeks for them to follow up. And, they found Mr. Olson in the floor of his bedroom. He'd been dead for 4 years.
Oh, my.
Now, there's no alleged foul play. They think he just had a heart attack or something. Natural causes. He passed away. Well, he was a retired veteran, and so his check was auto-deposited into his Navy Federal Credit account. Well, his checkbook was in his bedroom.
Uh-huh.
So this scumbag was going and writing checks, upwards of 50 of them, out of this guy's account, and he's been dead for 4 years. Wow. Okay. A lot to unpack there for me. First of all, I don't know if you have ever been in the presence of someone that is past present.
I have.
That is not a smell that you forget. It's also not one that you can mask really easily. How do you live in that for 4 years?
Wait, I have to ask this question. Have you been in that situation?
I have.
Where you have smelled someone who's been dead for a while?
I have.
Yeesh. T's
Oh,
and
yeah.
P's.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I have.
Not good.
And trust me, it's one of those things you never
get it. Yeah.
It's there forever. Anytime you come in contact with that, you know exactly what it is.
Right.
And what got me about this is that, first of all, you're a sick individual, and I hope they put you under the jail for doing this to a veteran and their family, or anyone in that general vicinity. But we started watching the Netflix, this very popular show, the Dahmer series on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, I got to watch that.
First of all, it's phenomenal. I know there's been a lot of people upset about it. I get it. It's basically a live-action documentary. It is hard to watch. If you don't know what you're getting ready to see, it is very difficult to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not something you want the children around
Very
for.
graphic, yeah.
It is very graphic. It's very well done. Evan Peters, the kid that plays Jeffrey Dahmer, is out of this world good. He's so unbelievably creepy that he's either the best actor on the planet Earth or he is naturally a very creepy individual.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to lean it's the former, not the latter. How do you live around that smell for that long and not go, no, crime's done here? I'll never understand that.
Lots of that Vicks Vapo Rub I was talking about, I guess. I don't know.
That's not enough. Trust me, that's not enough.
Like Clarice and Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, don't ever reference that. That's the worst West Virginia accent in the history of time.
That's your opportunity.
Those fingernails look like town.
There you go. I was waiting for the drop.
Ugh. My state's been mentioned 5 times in a movie ever, and one of them was, what was her name? Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster.
Ugh. Nails look like town.
Again, that brings us to the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes.
Indeed. The publication Golf Week, citing multiple sources, says that LIV Golf, Tour 54, nearing a deal to buy their own airtime on Fox Sports that would see their future events broadcast on FS1. The LIV series is now in the midst of their first season. They have stolen a lot of talent from the PGA.
Many high-end golfers.
The only way you can see these broadcasts is either on YouTube or on the LIV website, or if you have DC Streams, it's also on there. Great to watch it on the big 70-inch TV at the house. That really gets me into the LIV more than trying to watch it on my phone, but that's neither here nor there. Now we're talking TV deal. This was always going to happen, but it's the way that it's happening that could change sports broadcasting forever.
We talk on this show a lot about how the NFL is king of all kings and nothing else really is relevant. So the way this deal is going to work is that Live Golf's going to they will pay for the airtime on FS1. So instead of getting a fee, which is how this usually works, they will actually pay Fox Sports, and Fox Sports will have zero indemnity whatsoever. So whoever chooses to sponsor this is how Live Golf will be paid for the television rights. That takes Fox Sports off the hook for anything they show. Trust me, we know how these deals go quite intricately.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why this is a big deal. If you're CBS, golf gets a good number. It's a good number. It's not a great number.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be looking at the PGA going, outside of the majors, why do we care? Why are we wasting our Sunday afternoon? Which Sunday afternoon is not a great time anyway. Why are we paying? If there are entities that will come pick up the tab for our space, of which I'm not saying that there's a ton of them that have money like this to do this. I'm saying the rationale of the ones that are currently cutting checks for programming that doesn't rate particularly well. I'm thinking Major League Baseball. I'm thinking basically every sport outside of the NFL. Why would I continue to pay you?
Mm-hmm.
And now I will tell you, this is not a one-way street. This is not just, hey, why would the networks do it? I'll go Major League Baseball. I can make more revenue this way. I will make more revenue by selling my own advertising as an independent entity than I will a television deal with you, because your deal's going down while the NFL's going up, while college football's going up. They're negotiating all these things. All these dollars are going into that pie. Where do you think it's coming from? I know we live in a world that doesn't necessarily have the most common sense, and they think we just print money. There's just a money printing place, and nothing has any effect on anything. If NFL deals go up and college football deals go up, it's not because their revenues have gone through the roof and they're just printing money and they don't care. They're going to steal that money from somewhere. And there is a possibility, and I think it's a very real one, that this makes Apple Plus, this makes Amazon Prime, all of these streaming services. The networks have been hemorrhaged over the last few years, especially the non-Big Four. So you get into the ESPNs, TBS, the lower-level cable stations that have been broadcasting sporting events. They've been killed by these deals because they're so expensive that they can't make the revenue back because the rating number they're throwing is so low.
Mm-hmm.
This could change everything. And I can't believe I never thought of it. I can't believe it never crossed my mind that Liv was going to do this. And you can call me crazy. You can say I have my tinfoil hat on my head and that I'm out of my mind. I will tell you this as clearly as I can. I understand this deal very intricately. Very intricately. And there is a great possibility, higher than you could ever imagine, that this deal will be used as a template for lower-level organizations for the rest of our lives. The only entity that I don't necessarily think would get picked up by it is the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Because the NBA rates well enough day in, day out, and has enough inventory to cross that scale. Major League Baseball has so much inventory that you either commit to all of it or you commit to none of it.
Mm-hmm.
And networks are going to look at none of it. When you're throwing .4s in Sunday night baseball, that's not palatable because you're not making your money back, I promise you. I don't care how much of it there is. I do not care. And you can say I'm a baseball hater and I hate all of these other sports. That's not it. This is actually a revenue stream for all of these smaller level sports.
Mm-hmm. It's about what makes money. What is going to make us money? Will we make more money just selling the airtime to the entity, whatever it be, whether it be the WNBA or, well, the NBA would probably pick up that tab like they subsidize them already. Major League Baseball, whatever. I see XFL, USFL, whatever comes along. This might be how it's done from now on.
I actually knew this story was coming before it was published. Of just wait, LIV is getting ready to do something that is going to break the television model for probably, if not forever, then for the foreseeable future. I didn't know exactly what it was. As soon as I saw the story, I went, yep, that's the end. It's the end and it's the new beginning. People will hear that as a negative. It's not a negative. It's not. It just changes the way things are done. And I think it's going to change the way you consume sports.
Speaking of breaking norms, PhD weight loss breaks norms because normally when I've tried a weight loss program before, it had some results, but then it was always just go back to the way I was doing things before, and you have that regression, you have that regain. It's the one thing that we're trying to avoid with PhD. Since last Thanksgiving, I've lost over 90 pounds, and now PhD is helping me grow into the guy that I have become. I'm right around 200 pounds now, and we've decided to put a pin in the further weight loss for now because now I have other issues to deal with. I have a lot of loose skin and stuff like that now it's time to tighten up. Now it's time to do some weight training. Now it is time to get comfortable in the new body that I have. And the coaches at PhD Weight Loss are great for that. Understanding where you're coming from and adjusting the program to what you need, to what makes you comfortable. That's how they have the success record that they do.
And now you're seeing a lot of what I did on the path with PhD because I never wanted to lose a crazy amount of weight. I wanted to get back to where I could go to the gym, where I could sleep, where I could do all of the things that I'd always done because I wasn't grossly overweight. I just had terrible eating habits, and it was leading to my knees hurting, my back hurting, me not being able to sleep. Just 9 months on this program, I'm back to my high school weight. I'm sleeping like a baby, and it's thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
PhD is proven to help you change your life. As I said, 90 pounds down for me, and I'm going to keep going. Go to myphdweightloss.com today. Find out how they can help you change your story. PhD Weight Loss is the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound slow between exit 3 and exit 4A. Future 26 eastbound stop and go between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 westbound slows between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound delays between Hendersonville Road and Bavard Road. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Brevard Road northbound between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the NC Arboretum, delays. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lemon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print and Marketing Services help small businesses create bold signs to make big impressions. Right now, get $10 off custom printed signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. Offer ends 10/1. Visit staples.com/this is your sign for details. This is your sign to print big at Staples.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Dad, I don't feel good.
I'll grab the Vicks DayQuil Kids Honey.
Isn't DayQuil just for parents?
Actually, Vicks DayQuil Kids Honey is just for kids, specially designed to treat kids' most bothersome cold symptoms quickly with a honeylicious tasting flavor kids like.
You know what else kids like?
DayQuil Kids Honey first, then video games.
Deal.
Vicks DayQuil Kids Honey. The kids' honeylicious daytime coughing, congestion, stuffy head, stuffy nose medicine. Safe for ages 6+.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Dirty Perky Shark back flat.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Shark back flat.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
I am the furthest thing from a sports don't matter person. I screamed this during the coronavirus shutdown that this is an important part of our lives that you're not giving its appropriate credo to. However, what I will say is watching all of the response with a gigantic hurricane barreling right towards Florida, hitting it right now, T's and P's for all of our friends in Florida. The fact that all of these games have not been moved is one of the stupidest things I think I've ever seen. The fact the Bucs want to, well, maybe we play the Sunday night game in Tampa, or maybe you should have done what would have made sense from the get-go is move it to Minneapolis, because there are a lot of services and systems that are going to be very taxed with this flood. And the least thing they need to worry about is hosting your Sunday night football game in Raymond James. You have a very easy place to go in Minneapolis. I understand it's not the greatest solution to have to play one of your home games 1,500 miles away. I understand that. Sometimes you have to do what's better for the better good, and that's what this would have been. And I'm looking at Florida State. I'm looking at a slew of others saying the same thing. Get out of Florida. Get out of the way. I'm mad.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers may have to move the game, and they have decided the U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, where the Minnesota Vikings are off in London playing the New Orleans Saints, is the venue that this could be moved to. I did just get a text message during the break from my grandparents who live in Tampa, Florida. They live not 3 miles away from Raymond James Stadium. They have made all the preparations. Everything is fine. Nothing has happened there yet. But it's going to get really, really bad between 7 and 10 o'clock tonight, and it's going to be massive flooding, massive devastation, heavy winds, all those things. It does make me nervous about the family that lives down there, but they've been through this before. This ain't their first rodeo. And so hopefully everybody will be able to stay safe, and we can move on with other things. But for right now, I mean, I agree with you, Jeremy. You have to take the most serious aspects of this into account and go, what are we really doing here? It's a game. After all, it's just a game.
It's just a game, and it's just a gate. It's not exactly like you're hurting for money.
No.
Just get out of the way. And big ups to the real MVP, Jim Cantore. down there doing things.
Oh my God! There is a clip going around on social media right now. Apparently, he was on live with the Weather Channel, and a tree branch darn near took his legs out from underneath him. Why do we still do this?
Because Jim Cantori is the OG of the Weather Channel.
I mean, he's a madman. He's
insane.
Madman.
And I want to be best friends with him.
And I get that's his thing. That's Jim Cantori's thing. He's always on the ground. He's always in the dangerous spots. But they even do this to like Cub reporters. And now it's just getting to be ridiculous. You got a 90-pound woman out there trying to stand up in 112-mile-an-hour winds and hanging on to light poles to try to stand up. I don't feel like you should have to do this anymore. We get it. It's windy. You can go inside. We can pretty much get the pictures from just looking at the scenery. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll be back with you tomorrow afternoon at 3.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pleasant fall weather for us again Thursday. Then we'll start to see some clouds and eventually some rain move in as we head through Friday and into our upcoming weekend. Fair to partly cloudy skies here tonight. Cool temperatures into low 40s. Mix of clouds and sunshine for us tomorrow. Cool temperatures tomorrow afternoon, reaching highs in the middle to upper 60s. Cloudy Friday with a chance of late day showers, low 60s. Better rain chances into the weekend. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This is your Time Saver Traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound slow between exit 3 and exit 4A. Future 26 eastbound stop and go between Riverside Drive and 240. Future 26 westbound is slow between Broadway Street and Elk Mountain Road. 26 westbound stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound light delays between Hendersonville Road and Bavard Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Charging a cell phone can be like getting a booster shot. A booster is given to enhance or restore protection after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when you are eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
There's a lot of talk about the COVID-19 vaccines, and everyone has an opinion. So I went to somebody I already trusted, my doctor. Talk to your doctor or healthcare provider and make the decision that's right for you. Go to getvaccineanswers.org for the latest information. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.